Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Hey everyone.
All right.
We live?
Yeah, we're live. So, welcome everyone to Cloaks. This is Penny Dragons. I guess our flagship stream. Bunch of weirdos going to be killing monsters and trying not to die in the process. Classic D&D stuff. Yeah. So, we do people want to introduce themselves just initially as we go around and tell everyone what we're playing, who we're playing? So I'm going to go clockwise from where I see something. I'm going to jump to Kayla first. And
It's always me first.
Yeah, just race, class. Who's?
Yeah. So I'm Michaela, and I'll be playing Navani Gallandal. She is a high elf, and she's a paladin. So
Cool.
That's who I'm playing.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump now. I'll jump to Kyle. Who have we got?
So I'm going to be playing our wizard for this party, who his name is Transcribe, but most people call him Pouches because of the fact that his clothing is just covered in little like pouches and hidey holes. And he will be our hedge wizard for this campaign.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go to Fona. Who race, class? What's happening?
Oh, sorry, half elf, by the way.
Oh, half elf, yeah.
So hi, I'm Fona, and I will be playing Andy, who is the group's rogue and loves cats who make a lot of noise.
Yeah, there we go.
Hopefully they'll keep that down as we go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. We have Patty Finn.
My name is Paddy Finn, and I'm going to be playing a human fighter, Vorden Thalis. He's just going to be a down and dirty, grumpy old fighting guy. So just going for that kind of archetype, down on his luck, just hates the world and all that good stuff.
And last but not least, Boyd.
That's the last, I suppose. My name's Boyd. I am going to be playing a strange class called a pugilist or pugilist, however you want to say it. Mostly a hand-to-hand fighter. His name is Durrell the Boulder Stonehelm, and he's a mountain dwarf, and he wears a wife beater.
For anyone that Boyd is going to be using the pugilist class that Benjamin Hoffman, Sterling Vermin created. Great class. It's going to be very fitting for this Cloaks campaign, which for those of you watching, it's going to be, gritty, grim, maybe a little bleak, pretty dirty,
So if you're interested in this class, I recommend going out and looking it up on DM's Guild. I believe it's available.
It's on DM's Guild. Yeah. It's it's great. He does Benjamin Hoffman does great stuff. But so I think we have anything in particular we want to intro? We want to
just to say that we are now affiliate with Twitch, so people can feel free to subscribe to our channel and maybe throw us a couple of bits and tips and whatnot.
Bits and bobs, yeah. So let's keep them coming, and hopefully you all like it. Is everyone ready to? We just jump in.
We're as ready as we're ever gonna get.
Yeah. Let's go.
Cool. So, okay. Now, where am I? Okay. Oh, and actually, just before we kick off, just as a couple of things that we're going to be doing in this game that just you might not see them in all 5e games. Just if a certain rule comes up and you're not sure where it's coming from, we're just playing with like a couple of like optional rules or lesser used rules. So just to match the tone of the campaign, we are going to be tracking encumbrance and tracking ammunition. So there's not going to be unlimited, endless arrows. Sleeping in armor is going to affect people, and we're also going to use an unofficial rule where all death saves will be made by the DM, so that they'll be made in secret. So even the people themselves don't know how close they are to dying. So just to really terrify them all,
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So
Also,
without
we're using the Critical Role res rules, aren't we?
yes, that was the one that I left off. We're going to use, I think Critical Role, but we don't have to worry about that for a very long time because none of you are going to get the ability to resurrect anyone. I think Navani, our paladin, is maybe going to get it earliest, and that's at 9th level, which is many
away.
See if any of you survive to 9th level.
And then it's used at my discretion, so be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad I've gotten in there already.
Yeah, already gotten in.
Yes.
Little brother.
My character is screwed because it's not within his nature to be nice. Oh dear.
I don't know if it's within Pouch's nature to be nice either, but as you say, the paladin is his big sis. So.
Yes.
I'm just going to become your new best friend.
I bet you are. Luckily, I like cats too, so we're good.
Cool. So, without further ado, all of you, welcome to Minehelm. Minehelm is a festering boil on the arse of civilization, a melting pot of disease, debauchery, and death. Charged with the protection of this foul port city and the realms of Estra beyond it are the Cloaks, men and women of honor, enforcing the king's laws and safeguarding the people for no other reason than benevolence, or so the crown would have you believe. Each bears a mantle of a different color to signify their order and their duties. Those who guard the ports wear cloaks of blue, the color of the sea, which is their charge. Then there are those with cloaks of green, the color of the fields and the countryside they patrol. Cloaks as red as blood for those who investigate crimes of violence, bringing thugs and murderers to justice. Those who guard the temples are draped in white to reflect the purity of their oath. Copper cloaks for those who ensure the safety of the realm's treasuries and banks, and in doing so ensure its prosperity. Estra's proud, noble families surround themselves with silver-cloaked guards, their color a reminder of ancient knightly oaths of steel. For the crown they protect, the royal guards are gifted cloaks of gold, and theirs is the highest duty of all. But this is no fairy tale, and no paragons protect us. The Cloaks are made up of people, as varied as any, each as flawed as the rest of us. None exemplify this more than the one they call the Black Cloak. The former High Cloak, whose color was purple, and who sat on the king's own council, until the fateful day some years ago when he murdered the good king, leaving Estra in the hands of his less than capable heir. There has been no justice for the slaughtered king. The Black Cloak remains at large, lurking somewhere in the shadows, his motives as mysterious as his whereabouts. And yet, lower still are the Browncloaks. More numerous, but less regarded than the other orders, they patrol the sewers and do the other dirty jobs which are beneath the cloaks of higher station and brighter color. Their ranks are filled with the downtrodden, the desperate, and the damned. Our story begins with 5 such wretches. All of you, yours is a cloak of brown, color of shit. Shit is your job. Shit is your pay. Shit is what you are in the eyes of the king, his cloaks, and his people. And they may have a point, but we've all got to start somewhere. And with that, we fade a sunny morning. No, so we find ourselves in the poorest, worst neighborhood of Minehelm, a district known as the Drains. It is walled off from the rest of the city, barely contained, keeping a lid on a barrel of toxic waste that's about to explode. Many parts of the Drains are sections of open sewer, obviously where it gets its name, but people have built housing not only up to the open sewer and around it, but even down below street level and into the sewer as real estate became a scarce resource here. And then in the Drains is one of the largest barracks of Browncloaks in the city, the old barracks, as they call it, for obvious reasons. And it's here that we're going to find the party. Our 5 it's heroes is, let's go with that, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how long that lasts. So we are in the old barracks, and it is breakfast time in the mess hall, and each of you are sitting on a long table. The 5 of you just happen to be seated, roughly together. Navani and Pouches, you are side by side, with Andy just next to Navani. So Navani between Andy and Pouches, and then opposite you are Doral and Vorden. And then just kind of around you on either side, a collection of other Browncloaks who new recruits like you're all only recently joined. And, it's some people that joined with you and that you've come to know in the last, days or weeks or however long, each of you have joined. You didn't all come in one, in one big initiation ceremony. There wasn't an orientation day. So, you've all come in dribs and drabs, and around you a number of people that you've come to know, but most notable among them is a man, human, early 30s, very dark brown hair, shoulder length, stubble, green eyes. And he's not in clothing because you all wear your same, brown cloaks and dirty clothes, but in manner, he is a little brighter than some of the others. This is Jasper Silverstring, or so he calls himself. He was a minstrel in life, before becoming a Browncloak, and he is he claims that he was once very popular amongst the nobility, but after being caught in a dalliance with a noble's heir, he was ostracized and blacklisted, and now he can't get a gig for love nor money. So he's, resorted to becoming a Browncloak and getting his 1 gold piece a week. It's the only gig he could get. So as we fade in, you're all eating breakfast, and Jasper Silverstring, is singing. He's singing a little song. It's some of you, well, I would imagine all of you have heard it at least once in your life. It is the famed Ballad of the Black Cloak. And everyone present and all of you at home are going to have to excuse me as I butcher this song. So he stands, you're all eating your slop, whatever they've served you, and he's plucking a few notes on a string. It's quite nice. He sounds a lot better than I do. And he sits there and singing, "A cloak of violet hides a heart and soul as black as night. Shadowed schemes of an oath-sworn man from blessed Estra's sight. Tears of red wept from that king whose trust was so betrayed. By one with shame upon his name and king's blood on his blade." And he goes to continue, and someone just says, "Shut up!" Trying to eat me slop. And he's, yeah. And he's, "Oh, yeah. Shut up, Gideon." And he's, he's like, "You were asking for a song last night." He's like, he kind of sits down. He's like, and he's looking around at all of you. He's like, "He was one of us, Well, so they say. The Black Cloak, Browncloak, like all of us, at one point in time. It's what a man gets for aspiring to higher station, But anyway, yeah. Good gruel this morning, eh? As looking at all of you as you're enjoying, probably not, your morning slop. But yes, this is the scene that we find ourselves, all of you sat around a table with some of your fellow Browncloaks. And is anyone doing anything in particular?
Can I throw a boot at the guy who told the minstrel to shut up?
You certainly can. I'm just going to say make an attack roll. Just without proficiency. I'm gonna
Straight out the gate.
You know what? No, you're a fighter. Add your proficiency. I'm gonna count boots as a simple weapon. I'm going to assume it's not improvised. The Warden has probably thrown his boot at people many a time. He's practiced.
Okay, so I guess make an unarmed strike, and then we can like take the thing off it if there's anything on it. Let's see.
You can just.
Oh dear.
Hold on, dear. My Zoom window is blocking the way. Let me just minimize that. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I'm even out of proficiency. No, we're all good.
Yeah. So it does. I mean, it hits somebody.
Sorry.
It doesn't even really like. You don't get chance to like actually, lob it. You end up just hitting the guy next to you, who again is one of the people you've come to know a little more than the others. His name is Harold Donington. I can give people names later on. So Harold Donington is looks about late 30s. He's got like a rough, not a buzz cut. It's not clean. It's just his hair is just shorn down, really short and ragged. He said it was because he had lice, so he had to shave his head. But he's got big bags under his eyes, a bit out of shape. But he's the last as long as you've known him and been sort of training with him and stuff the last little while, early days of noble service in the Browncloaks, he's quite dour, depressed, just perpetually fed up. As people say, he looks like a sad basset hound. He's just this kind of like droopy face. And he's even, I mean, there are some people in the Browncloaks who are here basically because they're conscripted. They committed some crime or community service basically during the Browncloaks as opposed to serving time in prison. And he is one such person. He claims that his twin brother committed the theft for which he was convicted. But there seems to be nobody could find any evidence of this supposed twin brother. So he's just this, he's, just fed up already. And then you smack him in the face with a boot, He's like, oh, my fucking nose. Fucking hell, Warden. I don't know what's worse.
I would apologize, but
or the smell.
You can thank me later if that fixes your nose.
Do you wash your feet in piss? Oh. Yeah.
Tram's just like sitting on the other side of the table, using like the edge of the back end of the spoon and like just like carving into the table a little bit. And like after a second, the ruin that he's like carved into the table begins to like smoke a little bit, and he kind of like just watches it.
God damn it! Stop doing that shit in here. I'm gonna get caught.
Once the boot
he
went
kind of just
sailing,
shrugs.
Andy, who was like hunched over her bowl of gruel, kind of like eyeing everybody every so often furtively, as soon as she saw that boot went, she and her bowl of gruel are under that table, probably peeking out past Navani's legs a little bit, like, what is this going to cause trouble? Is there going to be a fight?
And like as Pouches is doing that, the smoking rune, the person who is next, who's going to be next to so next to Pouches on his left is a man, looks like maybe early 40s, human man, very like tightly curled black hair, salt and pepper beard, like unlike complete opposite of Harold Donington, who's quite out of shape. This guy is like very little body fat. He's very fit for like a slightly older man, and he's sort of olive skin. Most of you would know that he is not from Estra, he's from Sundra. So this man is called Aldos Indrix, and he's sort of like looking at the smoking ruin. He's just like, I've seen people get flogged for less, my friend. It's like,
I kind of like just
of
give him a bit of like an impish grin and be like, yeah, but they're not as good at running away as I am.
You can only run so far.
Mm-hmm.
I've got away with it so far, sis.
We'll see.
Luckily, I've got you to
Yeah.
watch my back. I mean, what is Law Keep going to do to me with that?
Yeah, do not discourage the boy. You know, I ran all the way here from Sundra, and Andy as
What was his name again?
Aldous.
Aldous
Indrix.
Indrix. I will throw up a list of like NPCs and stuff in chat or in our chat.
I've started my notebook.
Yeah.
Awesome. So as Andy is thinking, you know, is this going to be a fight? A little bit like down the table. There's just this, you know, massive like slam sound and raised voices, and you see this guy that again a sort of a new brown cloak like the rest of you. Looks about 30s, big guy, tall, broad, with a quite, you know, noticeable gut, but a kind of hard fat. He's got, you know, short brown hair, but clean shaven, and he's tattooed with like piscine or like, you know, like fish scales all, you know, over his arms. So it kind of looks like a sailor. And he has just slammed this little guy's head down into the table. This young guy called Callister is looks like he's late 20s. He's got, you know, coiffed blonde hair, delicate features, quite weedy. And you've known him all to be a bit cowardly, you know, a bit Samwell Tarly from Game of Thrones. He is been nicknamed Prince by most of the people here because he is a noble's son. Some sort of God knows what the fuck he's doing here. And then this huge guy, Dag, with all the scales, has just like fucking slammed his head into the table. He's like, give me the fucking money now. And he's like, I know you got it. I know your daddy probably gave you some pocket money, you know. And as he does that, also standing up to, she was next to Harold Donington, a woman called Daisy, or early 20s. She looks like not long an adult, big brunette curls. She looks like almost like, you know, fairy tale princess, like kind of pretty, you know, freckled, except when she smiles, she's got no front teeth. And she's just this like wild, tangled, like nest of hair. She stands up, you know, she's like, let him go, Dag. Let him go, you bastard, you know. And she's like, starts sort of stomping her way over there. And
at this point, I had scraped out my chair just a moment ago, about to step up and get involved, but I sits back down quietly.
Yeah, and as Daisy stands up and starts moving her way over there, on either side of Dag, two of his two buddies stand up. There is a very tall woman with jet black hair, a big scar across the bridge of her nose, and she's also tattooed in these like geometric patterns. Herself and Tag seem to be quite friendly. She's Tamsin or Tam. She's also a former sailor. And then also with Dag is a halfling called Bren, who is like, kind of gives off a bit of a creepy vibe. He looks like young adult for a halfling, just dark eyes, wavy, kind of mousy hair, very quick and dangerous. So the two of them stand up and start kind of, you know, all three of them are like kind of squaring up to Daisy, and Dag has like, you know, Prince in a headlock, and then also Aldous, the Sundran man, is standing up.
I'm gonna like kind of lean forward, and I'm just gonna start to like mutter under my breath, and my one hand is like under the table, and I'll be like, and I'll just mutter these words in like this mix of deep speech and celestial, and a ghostly shadow of my hand will form off and move across the floor. And I am going to be going for Dag's bootlaces and undoing his boots.
Okay, with Mage Hand. Will you give me a sleight of hand check, please? Is
Andy gonna see this? She's under the table.
Oh yes, actually, Andy would see it because she's under the table. You just see this ghost hand, like, you know, I I forget what the name of. Does the hand have a name in the Addams Family? I forget.
Thing.
Oh, it is Thing. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
So that's 13 total.
okay. Yeah, I think he's pretty engrossed. So as far as you can tell, he has not noticed. And neither, like most of the other, like some of the other recruits are kind of like looking, either interested or scared. Two of them in the back corner seem to be exchanging money. They're like, two of them seem to be betting on it. Is Daisy gonna get her ass handed to her by the three of them? But now Aldous is standing up, and then but a lot of the kind of veteran Browncloaks, the ones who've been there a little while, because you kind of go through a little like a fortnight sort of initiation period. So you're all just initiates, recruits. So we'll actually, just as a little sidebar for the audience, because all the players know, we've started with no equipment except for they get their standard issue Browncloaks equipment. So their cloak, their club, and their conch, which is like a seashell that counts as a signal whistle. So until there's like a fortnight period where you're entrusted with that, and then if you had any possessions with you, like say you had a sword, you don't get to carry that on duty until you've proven that you can be responsible enough with a club, when protecting protecting the law of the land. So a lot of the more veteran Browncloaks aren't really paying any attention. This is just kind of pretty standard. So what is everyone else doing as this is about to kick off?
So once Andy gets over the shock of a sudden appearance of a hand, a ghost hand that then crawls away off in that direction, she's going to kind of crawl her way around everybody's legs to get to the other end of the table so that she has a better view of what's happening, but staying under the table.
So she's going towards Dag and the hand?
Yeah, so she's going toward, she's kind of following the path the hand took, just to get to the end of the table so she can look out and see better what's happening without being uncovered.
Okay, so give me a stealth check.
So that's 21 total.
Yeah, so it's just like you're not even there, just like you're just weaving in and out and wiggling and kind of just hands and knees shuffling, and as you get to, so as the hands are untying the laces, and then as Andy reaches there, Tam has stepped, the tall woman has stepped in front of Dag, who's got Prince in a headlock, and Daisy, this young woman with the big mad hair, just swings at Tam and just connects with her jaw, and Tam is kind of like knocked back, and then as she's falling back, she reaches out and grabs a hold of Daisy's cloak and brings her in and just headbutts her. And now it's like, now people are like, the people around them are like standing up, and bowls of gruel are flipped. Everyone's like, oh shit, some people are cheering, and like everyone's kicking off, and everyone's like, oh, hit him, oh, hit her. And then like some other just some random guy just behind the halfling, like, goes to punch him, and the halfling actually like elbows him in the ribs, and then no one else sees it, but Andy, you see under the table, this halfling pulls a knife out of, like, you're not even sure where he got it from. He just like slips a knife out and just cuts this guy across the front of his thighs. This guy goes like staggering back. This like really weird little quiet halfling. And then so as all this is kicking off, and
was that knife attack in plain sight? Like you could just see that? Or was
no,
it
sorry,
only...
only Andy
only
saw,
Andy
like under the
Okay.
table, yeah, at like that level, he just pulled out a knife and just cut this guy. So it's all kicked off, and then as that's happening, a door just is, booted in, comes slamming in, hinges creaking, it clatters off the adjacent wall. And then
I can imagine as all this is happening, like Navani's just like staring at me, being like, "Don't get involved. Don't
I'm-
get
I'm-
involved."
yeah.
Like giving me like the death stare. You're not going to unleash arcane hell in here.
Just be cool. Just be cool.
So, so as this happens, there's three figures come, barreling into the room. There is chief among them, Captain Galloway, the captain of the old barracks, one of the three captains of the Browncloaks in Minehelm, each one assigned to a different barracks. And then actually the commander of the Browncloaks, the overall commander, a very, very old man. He's almost 100. He's 19. He was 99 this year. Commander Bill Sharp, or Bill Blunt, is essentially just a doddering, his mind is gone, but they kind of just, leave him go. So, Captain Galloway is really the true authority around here. He comes in with two of the five sergeants. You'd be quite familiar with them. So Galloway comes in. He is an older man, late 50s. He's balding, but his hair is like jet black, a big unruly beard. He looks weathered and craggy. And he's coming in with he's got a wooden peg leg, but it doesn't really seem to slow him down at all. You know him as this just gruff, curmudgeonly, just hard-nosed, just bastard of a taskmaster. And on his left and right, Sergeant Leia Steingard, a human woman, late 40s. She's short, stout. She's red hair streaked with gray. It's tied up in a a tight bun to keep it out of her face. Very bright blue eyes. She's you've had dealings with her probably more than the others. She's stern but fair, which you are sure is because, as you know, she's a mother of five. Just five kids in a back home in her house in the drains, and she's just like a whips everyone into shape. And then also there is a huge half-elf man, Velen. Well, Sergeant Smith, Velen. People call him the Orc because he does not look like an elf or a half-elf at all. He's just like a huge brute of a man. He's a big, heavy brow. He's missing a tooth. His nose has been broken a couple times, and he's just this big, ugly bastard, but a bit of a gentle giant. And people say he's got pointy ears, but that's about it. So he looks more like an elf than looks more like an orc than an elf. So these three come barreling in, and Captain Galloway just bellows. He's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And everyone is just kind of like,
Can I whisper to Pouches and just say, "You better get rid of that hand right now."
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of give like this mischievous grin of almost enjoying being caught, and just and like close my hand, just like, and you'll see that like this little flash of purple energy, like almost catching a little bouncy ball coming back, and the hand is like gone.
Andy, you see this little puff and it's gone. And Captain Galloway comes in, and everyone starts like scrambling, back to their seats. And actually, Dag goes to sit down, and he trips on his now own undone shoelaces, falls back, and cracks the back of his head off of a bench. And like,
I just like snort laugh at that.
Yeah, there's like a couple of people very close to him that are like trying not to laugh because he will kick the shit out of them once lights out. And Captain Galloway, she's like, "Oh, okay. Oh, see, I thought that we were all adults. I thought that we were all Browncloaks. I didn't realize that it was playtime. Okay, you want to be children, do you? Okay, we'll treat you as such." And he starts kind of stamping over, and he's like looking. He just comes over to Dag, and he picks him up by the back of his cloak, Tam, his, his friend, the woman with the dark hair, kind of like, tenses, almost, instinctively wanting to go for Captain Galloway, but thinking better of it, kind of steps down. He locks eyes with her. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. He's like, these two sergeants come along, and he picks up Dag. He's like, you're never going to learn, are you? And then he kind of pushes him in Velen the Orc's direction. And he, like, Dag is big, but Velen the Orc is like massive, And he looks and he's like, oh, naughty boy. He's like, come on. And he sort of like, Velen starts dragging off Dag and Tam and Bren the halfling, and kind of rounding up his little posse, and he takes them off in one direction. And, Galloway kind of turns around to everyone else. He's like, go on then. Finish your breakfast. You've got work to do. He's like, speaking of, and he kind of leans down to Sergeant Steingard, Leia Steingard, the red-headed woman. And he's whispering something to her. And at this point, Andy has made her way back to the table. So all of you are kind of sitting down again, looking, getting ready, looking like you're
I'm kind of just
eating.
Like from the depths of my hood, like my hood's all the way up, and I'm like pretending to lean over and eat, but I just look at Navani and I say, fun time.
Yeah.
That's all I say to her.
Yeah. She's whispering, and he's like, okay, he nods, and she points in your general direction, and she whispers something back. And then the two of them kind of walk over to your section of the table. Galloway's like, you, and starts pointing at all five of you. He's like, you. And it said Jasper.
Whoa.
He's like, yes, sir. He's like, yes, sir. He's like, not you. Like, yeah, you. Sergeant Steingard's got a job for you. Best be quick about it. And he just wanders off on his own way. And now Sergeant Steingard is kind of standing there with her hands behind her back, looking at you all expectantly, waiting for you all to stand up.
I stand up.
Whether or not you finished your breakfast.
Yeah, I can imagine Navani like stands up with like this crisp military precision, and like Tram kind of like stands up still holding the plate and like eating, and he's like got the plate in one hand and like the spoon in the other, and he's like looking at us like, what do you want? But like he's still like shoveling food in his mouth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Andy is waiting for like there's still two others to stand up, so she's at this point just like shoveling as fast as she can to get as much of the food consumed before she has no choice but to stand up.
Mm-hmm. And as she's waiting there, she actually gives Daisy like a punch on the arm, like a sort of a a well done kind of like, you idiot, like trying to take on fucking three people, anyway.
Vorden says, yes, sir, right away, sir. But sort of quickly scrambles under the chair or under the bench for a minute, and as fast as he can tries to relace his boot.
She's looking at the fact that you only had one boot on. She's like, do I need to be worried, Alice? Look at what,
yes, let's just say it's better that we don't talk about what that was all about, if you know what I mean.
Yes. He's like, yeah. It's like, Stonehelm, you eaten enough to get your strength up?
Aye.
That's what I like to hear. Said, right, when you're ready, come on. And she, starts walking out of the mess hall, out into the corridor, just, moving rather swiftly, as big of strides as she can take, with quite a short, stout frame,
Follow her out.
So Tram like attempts to leave with the plate, and I'm not sure if Navani would stop that or not.
God damn it, put that back.
But like I just gotta give the plate like a long lick and then like put it down on the nearest table and walk off.
Come on, let's go.
Andy skulks along like a sulky teenager at the very back of the group.
Yeah. Daisy starts hoovering up whoever has left food in their bowl. Daisy's just like grabbing bowls, and it's just like, just like, you know, it's just like feral, this feral princess-looking person missing 2 front teeth, who's like some sort of, yeah. So, yeah, if everyone is following out into. Out into the corridor, you're taken into just like a little side room, you know. Basically it's not, you know, it's not like this is the briefing room or anything. This is just, you know, a little side room with a table and a couple of chairs. There's only like 2 chairs. She's not sitting. She just addresses all of you, and she says, you know, starts detailing what you can do, and she's like, right, well, I've got a job for you today. Seems that down in the sewers underneath Copper Bottom Alley, we've got a blockage. Now, I know none of you have ever dealt with one of these before, so I'm going to be very clear. This isn't, you know, a regular kind of blockage. This isn't too many dead leaves that have gathered up, you know, in the pipelines. We're dealing with an excremental, shit for brains, as some of us call them. But as funny as that might sound, there's nothing funny about an excremental. It is a living, pulsating, murderous pile of shit and piss and rubbish and alchemical fluid. So, I mean, I don't know where one is, but there must be some blasted alchemy lab somewhere flushing their fucking toxic, magical fucking piss down the drain into the sewers. And it makes these monstrosities that we have to go smash up into little bits so that everyone can shit in relative cleanliness. So, you're to go down there and unblock the pipe, by which I mean smash the bugger to smithereens. But judging from the blockage, I would be careful because it might be a big one. Now, I will give you one warning. You're going to have to get close to an excremental to hit it, but try not to stay too close, because if it sucks you in, there is very little chance of you getting out. Well, with all of your meat attached anyway. You know, if it comes near you, hold your breath, because if you think you've if you think you've smelt shit before, you ain't. So, any questions so far? Sewer, shit monsters?
Can we have something that isn't a stick? You know, like something to shoot it from afar, maybe?
Well, we can't spare crossbows on recruits. You know, this is what we've signed up for. We all had to do it. Those of us who've lived anyway. But I'm sure you'll be fine. You know, you're all strapping young lads and lasses, you know. Yeah, you'll be fine, I'm sure, you know. But also
Andy's giving a look towards the others, especially at that strapping young people comment.
And she didn't make eye contact with you when she said that.
Yeah, nervously kind of speaks up saying, okay, if we can't have a crossbow, could we have bigger sticks?
This is your standard issue. Your cloak, your club, your conch. If you don't like it, then I'm sure you can find employment elsewhere in the city. Although not in your case, Baker. And she gestures to your wrist, which Andy has the same thing that Harold Donington, the man who claimed his evil twin brother framed him, has a braided braided metal band around their wrist, which is essentially like an ankle bracelet, so it they can't refuse orders, and it's for the people who are convicted and conscripted into service in the Browncloaks. And if they try and slip it off, this Oathkeeper band, as it's called, will shrink over their wrist. It will, so they can't slip it off their hand, and it kind of keeps them in line. So
Andy kind of shrinks back at that, and looks nervous.
And another thing, there's been some tremors in that part of the sewers lately, so just keep an eye out. And as this is happening, also Jasper the minstrel, and another guy, not him, Jasper and Daisy, along with Callister, the man formerly known as Prince, or currently known as Prince, come trundling along, and they're being, sort of, they're coming down the way, and they sort of join in. They come into the room, and they're like, "Oh, Jasper's like, Sergeant, the Sergeant Smith sent us down. We're supposed to question a couple of witnesses down by Slaughterer's Way. So I think he said we should go as far as Copper Bottom with this lot." So she's like, yes, yeah, fine. She's like, "Well, any other questions?" She says, "You can, on your way out, Quartermaster will give you your torch, because it is quite dark down there." You be off, and hopefully I'll see you again.
So I'm assuming we know what part of the sewer, like we'd be familiar with the directions and how to get there. Is that?
Yeah, sorry. So she will, because I think we're gonna just do like a little. You can chat a bit on the way, but you don't have to find the. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. She directed you to because when she says the sewer's under Copper Bottom Alley, it's like there is a sewer access there, and that's like as near as they can tell, that is the close, the closest entryway to where they think the blockage is. They have like a general area.
Can I keep an eye out for a piece of like copper wire as we're like moving through all of this? Like, just see if it's even if it's like holding together a piece of furniture or something, just like nick it.
Sure. Give me 3 perception checks. Just that I will use.
Perception. So the first two are really good, 16 and 13, and then the last one is 4.
Yeah. In 1 second. Oh, yes. So, give me 1 second. I completely forgot to do this.
Scary music.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. We just got like general. Yeah, that was supposed to come on much earlier. Apologies for that. So, actually, you don't find anything on the you won't find anything on the way to the sewers, as you basically all of you are making your way to
So I mean, like, even in the barracks, like as we're leaving the barracks, if there's anywhere I could like.
Sorry. Yeah, I think then in the if we're including in the barracks, when you go to the quartermaster, and he's giving you each a torch, basically you spot in like a random, there's like a small crate on his desk that just has some random junk in it, and there's a piece of copper wire about like this big, and just with a bunch of other random bits and pieces. So there are there is maybe an opportunity where he turns his back to retrieve the torches. That it's up to you whether you want to try and
Oh yeah,
go
definitely.
for it. Yeah. So yeah, give me sleight of hand then, or
Seeing that Tram, knowing he's a bit mischievous and catching his eye and seeing that what he's about to do, Vorden would like to kind of stumble into the barrel of torches and knock them over to try and distract the quartermaster.
yeah, you're just going for it, just terrific. Yeah. So
that's
you
pretty
just
much.
you just barrel into them, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he's just like, everything's just clattering around, and he's like, "You clumsy oaf!" He's like, you kind of land a bit on top of him. He's like, "Get off me!" He's like, He's like, "Pick it up."
Sorry,
Yeah,
quartermaster. Must have been that gruel. No offense.
Yeah.
21.
Cool. So that really helped.
Yeah, it did.
And so we get you get a piece of copper wire from this little crate of miscellaneous.
So I'm just gonna like slip it up my sleeve for now, tucking it like
Mhm.
one of the pouches near my hand.
I'm
Yep.
rolling my eyes, just shaking my
yeah.
head.
Give me an
Uh,
eye roll with.
Andy's watching on with interest.
I just whispered to Navani, and I'm gonna be like, "Wait till you see what I figured out what to do with this."
I dread to think what you've figured out.
So so as if everyone with torch in hand, as we make our way along. Oh, hang on, is that not? Sorry, that should be looping.
So-
Yeah.
As we're going, I'm just gonna whisper back, and I'm just gonna be like, "Well, it's not only your fancy school that can teach magic. Us people can figure it out on our own."
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm gonna like now that we're out of sight of the quartermaster, I'm gonna like slip the copper wire out and be like, "Watch this!" And I'm gonna like twist it around my fingers, and I'm gonna cast the cantrip message, and I'm gonna cast it on Vorden and be like, "Vorden, this is your conscience. Don't do this. Don't do it." And just see how he reacts to this voice in his head.
Vorden's kind of like, "Damn it, not you again. Be away with you."
And just because when I said that the players are starting with no equipment but the cloak, the club, and the conch or the signal whistle, I meant it because Pouches does not have a component pouch or a spell book, although he has been allowed one first level spell,
Which has only a verbal component.
Yep, because he couldn't have anything with material components because he does not have his component pouch. He is pouchless. So we as everyone is sort of, we head out into the barracks. It's early morning. I mean, it's like 7 a.m. now, but it's a dreary morning. There's very little light. It's overcast. There's that like fine mist of rain. It's just everything is damp, and Jasper and Daisy and Prince or Callister are kind of coming out, alongside you. They're all bundled up, and Jasper is continuing to tell tales of the Black Cloak. You can hear him, telling Daisy, and she's having a great time, listening intently. He's like, one of us, a Browncloak, and he's like, tall, big, great, tall, broad, lean, panther of a man, burns all across his face. Some say the king with his dying breath threw the brazier up into his face. Others say that he was blasted by the sacred fires of Salastra for his sin, and his one white, milky, beady eye would remind all and mark his face for his treachery, and she's like, ooh, she's like, he's really very good, she says to, Prince, So they're having, you're all making your way along the streets of Minehelm. And Minehelm being a port city, there is smell of, salt in the air. And the drains is very close to the coastline. It just kind of spills out into the ocean in parts, into rocky waters.
Are there any passers-by or other people?
Yeah, there
in the
is.
street?
So there's a few people, already out, going about, bits and pieces, going about their day. You pass many beggars in doorways and alleys, and curled up under any bit of shelter that they can find. You see very few, people pay them any mind. There's someone is pushing a cart. You're not sure what's in it. It's covered over with like a burlap kind of tarp. You're just wheeling it along, and he gives a big, cough, like big wheezing, plague-ridden cough, But yes, that is, the state of who you see. A lot of people are either, you could hear the sound of dock workers, a little in the distance. They've been up working for at least an hour, by this time. And other people are out and about. But
Do any of the people that we
heading to
pass have a visible weapon, especially daggers?
Well, one man does pass you, and he is carrying like it's it looks like more for utility, but it's a slightly like curved knife. Like it could be like some kind of like paring knife. You're not 100% sure what it's for, or if it's like a fisherman's tool, but it's this like slightly like it's a very simple cylindrical wooden handle and a blade that kind of tapers like a paring knife. It's like a very small dagger. It's hanging on his hip.
Can I try
He
and
has got a
pickpocket
sack
that off?
over the other shoulder. Yeah, give me sleight of hand.
So that was 18.
Nice.
Yes. So he rolled a 17, and so
Whoa.
I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna catch her out. So
Boom.
yes, as Andy passes, she like goes by and she gives like, copying the guy pushing the cart, she gives this like very convincing like like cough, and kind of like bends down and she pulls the knife like out, because she disguises the kind of yank, to pull the knife out of the sheath with this kind of like coughing and kind of clutching, and the guy's like, he's like, oh, get off, and like, pushes her away. Like looking back, and he bundles the cloak around him further and shouldering this whatever he's carrying in a sack over his shoulder, and is periodically looking back at Andy to make sure, as the two of you go in separate directions, that you aren't clinging onto him anymore. And with that, you come to an intersection of streets, and Jasper, Daisy, and Callister say, they bid you farewell and going down, and he's like, heard about the job. He's like, well, I mean this sincerely, friends. I hope that I see you all again, and if not, farewell. I'm sure I'll join you soon. And he kind of, goes off, and Daisy is like, she's like, I'm sure you'll make it back. She's like, it'll be great. He's like, he's like, I wish I was going down there too. And Jasper is like, no, he's like, no, come along. And Callister, the young noble man, doesn't really know what to say. He's just kind of like, and he just kind of slinks away, not really knowing what to say, and very awkward. And
I'll just say, we'll be fine. Don't worry about us. We're gonna come back.
I like the enthusiasm.
We'll clean out this turd and be home in time for tea.
Yes, I think that
when I hear Navani say we'll come back, I'll say, well, most of us, maybe.
Yeah.
Like this cheeky voice of like just being full of shit and disagreeing with her because I can.
Jasper is like, yes, well, I fear that, well, if the excremental doesn't kill you, I'm sure that whatever's for tea will. But, you know, he said, farewell, friends. And then he's kind of,
Farewell.
he starts moving down the street, and he's like, drains. He starts like shouting, and he starts picking a tune on his lute, and he's like, it's a wonderful morning in Minehelm, and as people are like, shut up, I'm trying to say, I just got off a 14-hour shit. So there's a rock at him from the, so he goes off, three of them, and I'm
just sat in the background, and I have on my right wrist a braided metal band, and I'm just rotating it around my wrist nervously with my left thumb and middle finger.
Yeah. And oh yes,
I'm guessing this is a different band than Andy's band.
No, it's the same.
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, because Jorel has an Oathkeeper as well. Apologies for that. So you are now kind of staring down the yawning mouth of Copper Bottom Alley, and you can see about halfway down there is a little wedged between two buildings is a kind of a squat, not even fully one-story building. It's just a plain block, and there is a door. It is padlocked, but one of you, I'm going to say, no, you know what? She'd give it to Navani. There's a ring of iron keys, and it will open the lock. So this is the sewer access. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and start trying to open it.
Yep. Yeah, it just it's just easily enough, key slips in. It's a little stiff, but it nope, not gonna finish that sentence.
I was nearly gonna finish it, but I stopped myself too. So
yeah.
But okay, so I turn to the rest of the party and I just say, are we ready?
Vorden's about to step through ahead of everyone, and then he says, "Oh, sorry, where are my manners?" He steps back and says, "Ladies first."
Sure, Andy, you're up.
And then Andy kind of blinks a few times and realizes, oh yeah, that probably includes me. And then shifts kind of sideways nervously, and then finally bites the bullet and walks forward. But before she goes through the door, she looks back at you all like, you're going to save me if something attacks me, right?
Don't
Before
worry.
she goes through.
Don't worry. So yeah, I guess I'll follow in close behind her.
Yeah.
I'll follow with Navani. Someone's got to protect her. I mean,
Oh yeah.
her magic's just not as good as mine.
Yeah. Some of us don't need to rely on magic to survive, but anyway.
Yeah. So as you all start to step in, it's just a very simple it's just like a basically a 10 by 10 foot bare stone room, and then in the center of the room is an iron ladder that's just going down into the dark.
I'm not going first this time.
No, don't worry.
Vorden's going to sort of step over the hole and hold his torch out to see if he can. Does it go down as far as the light is cast, or further?
Yeah, it would definitely go down as far as the dim light is cast. It is, just let me check. It is where the sorry, I'm trying to remember where I put it. It is because the ceilings are about 10 foot high. So the ladder is 24. I'd say it's about 30 foot down,
Right.
roughly. You know.
Can you see the bottom then, or?
Yeah, with dim light. So it'd be the
Dim
20
light.
foot of bright light, and then you can see. Yeah, sorry. So you can see the bottom. Yeah.
Okay. He kind of turns around and says, "It's a deep one. It's a deep one, all right."
Okay. All right. Let's just take this really carefully. And I'll just. So, yeah, I think I might just start walking towards it.
Yeah. Is anyone going down? Also, I don't know if the music is too loud for anyone on the stream.
No.
People can
it's
turn
good.
it down in their own settings. That's what I
Yeah.
did. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because I just have the master volume just up so that it's, and then if people want to adjust it.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna follow after Navani, slipping down into the sewers below.
okay, so Navani is first. So we're going. Navani went down first, then Pouches.
Yeah.
Who's going next?
Guess Vorden will follow.
Cool.
And Andy runs away.
Andy was definitely as he went down one at the time, she did consider it, but then she glances at Durrell and then she rubs her own bracelet around her wrist a couple of times and realizes that the people here aren't the people who are the problem that she wants to run away from. So, she glances back at Durrell and points at the hole and like with a questioning look, kind of like, "Are you going?"
I can see in the dark. I prefer to be at the back.
So she'll shrug and she'll take a deep breath and go down the hole.
Yeah. So, with that, as each of you, sorry, Kyle.
As a note, I don't have a torch lit. Like, I've left my torch in my bag. I'm just relying on like dark vision.
Cool. So, with that, you are all, if you can. Now that should be fogged out, apart from the initial part. Is that working for everyone? The map.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So, you are.
I think
just
for the stream though, we might want to drag the map to the unfogged corner because the stream is just showing it all black.
Whatever the map account we're using.
Yeah, that's not
well,
hard. Christian should be able to just adjust that a little bit.
Yeah, I think we just need because it's not because it's not dynamic lighting, it's just fogged, so
Yeah.
it doesn't need the token unless we change that back, but it should be.
Oh, it's better.
There we go.
There we go. It's
Yeah.
on screen now. Yeah.
Cool. So and then sorry, just obviously you can zoom in as much as is appropriate to fill the. I don't have the Twitch feed up myself, but because it would probably impair my crappy internet and PC to have it running. So you are immediately just assaulted with the smell of, let's be polite and call it waste, of grey water.
Shite.
Yeah, there we go.
It
There we go.
stinks down here, and it isn't me.
For
Yeah.
once.
For it changes.
Yeah.
I knew this job would be fun.
There is the kind of oddly, strangely gentle kind of sound of trickling shit water, kind of just underneath, but you do hear this kind of slight rushing waterfall sound up ahead, from the chamber ahead where water is, was being washed down into the sewer. But yeah.
Have we been given anything in terms of dealing with the smell at all, or like?
Got a cloak.
That's about it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I manage to smuggle that beard oil? I'm a dwarf with a massive beard. I attempted to smuggle some beard oil down here. Did that work out?
Yeah. I think it's cosmetic.
My hands are wrapped in straps of binding, so I take a bit of those off, put a bit of the oil on it and just strap it around my head underneath my 2 nostrils.
Okay. It's yeah, because it's unpleasant, but as far as you're aware, it's not posing any threat. But it is certainly unpleasant. So, sorry, let's just pull this tab up. Sorry. So, yeah, you can all move your tokens as you wish. Obviously, just don't go sending them hundreds of feet. Just a few squares at a time, just in case.
No luck there. I think you need to give us access to them still.
Oh, are they not? Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Yeah. So you double click on them and assign.
Oh, okay.
Control
No.
by.
Yeah. Because I set them to. I set them to. So that they were the tokens for the character, but then I forgot to. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay, sorry. So I've done pouches, Navani, Andy. And actually, because Vorden is on D&D Beyond, I'm not 100% sure if, but I think I could probably just
I've
set
got
it to
control
a
of it.
character.
Yeah, I've got them.
Cool. Let me just. It should be. Oh yeah, that's fine. You're still showing up. Okay.
So I'm gonna move forward and peek down this corridor, get to the next intersection, and just kind of look around in the next room.
Mhm.
Be like, what's going on in here?
Yeah, so in that, you can see, two pipes where new fresh wastewater is being pumped in, and then across. So, there's all these, stonework pavements or walkways or whatever you'd call them, going along, and then the sewer water is about 3 foot deep, so you can walk, you can kind of wade in it. It's not really impeding, so it's kind of running along, and then you can see there where obviously just what looks like an old door has just been placed across as a little makeshift bridge between the two.
How deep does the water look? Can I
It's
tell?
about you'd guess about 3 feet. You know that you can, in most places, unless something is hiding, unless there's a big hole hiding under there, you know that you kind of can generally walk in it. You can wade through it, but
you don't
whether
really
you'd
want
or
to.
not- Yeah, whether or not you'd want to, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna step to the side, just let everyone else catch up.
Mhm.
Specifically, I'll wait for Navani.
Oh, actually, hang on. Sorry. Sorry. I think the waters are about, well, yeah, between 2 and 3 feet deep. Yeah. So it's it's yeah.
I ask a question about equipment. I know we've got very little. It's a cloak club and
Mhm.
conch. What does the club count as in terms of combat? Is it just a?
It's just a club from Player's Handbook.
From
so
5th edition.
the-
Light,
yeah, sorry,
1d4 damage.
Oh, there's a
D4
club.
strength.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there is.
Just so I know because something tells me I'm going to need it at some point. So.
Yeah, I will triple check, but it should be D4 light weapon
Cool.
melee.
I can look it up, no problem. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, D4 bludgeoning. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm actually going to need to figure out for the next session exactly, because one thing I didn't do actually is double check about tracking encumbrance, digitally on this and giving items weight and stuff.
So I have a question. I have stone cunning because of my racial features.
Yep.
Could I figure out the origin of this place? Does it seem as though it was human made? Is Minehelm a human city?
Minehelm is, this section of Minehelm, this section of sewer does appear human made.
Okay.
What in the scale of civilizations, and it would be considered more modern, more recent, this section of sewer. There are much older sections of sewer in Minehelm, and lots of things that are actually just the old city upon which Minehelm was built. So there, was a more ancient civilization, and you can actually see out in the ocean, beyond in the bay, or out just past the coastline, you can see bits and pieces of what look like rock, outcroppings of rock, but are actually the tips of buildings from old sunken sections of the ancient city. So yes, Minehelm is built on top of ruins and of an old city, and it's just the new was built on top of the old. So there are much older sections of sewers and other things deep beneath the earth, which I suppose as a dwarf you would be familiar with. There's all kinds of rumors about what the underways and the darkened underbelly of Minehelm connects to, deep down beneath the earth, but much of it's hearsay and legend.
This
But
bit
section looks
seems
modern.
recently made modern human. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Andy wants to kind of make her way around the others, so we've passed the others, and then test the wooden board, or the door. So like, that thing where you kind of like put one foot out and you like press a bit and you're like, does this seem sturdy? So she wants to do that, and then if and when she's satisfied, she'll step onto it, and if it seems strong enough, she'll do a little jump up and down to see if it will maybe support the more sturdy members of the team.
So as you kind of put a foot on it, seems pretty solid. You step on it a couple times, go for a light trampolining, not your feet not leaving the board, and it seems solid. Seems solid enough.
I say to Andy, I'm like, does that way seem like a good idea for you, or shall we head down this way, which seems like the more likely way that our prey hides?
I would say.
Oh no, that was all said to Andy.
Sorry, yeah.
So Andy kind of just shrugs a little, but says, "Well, the board's good if we want to go this way, but I don't really know. They just said under Copper Alley for the ship monster, right?"
Yeah. And at this point, he'll turn to Vorden and he'll be like, "Vorden, you're an expert in shit. What do you think?"
Vorden says, "Why, thank you," and sniffs in each direction and says, "It smells equally shitty from both directions."
Can we hear anything or?
Yeah. Okay. Navani, give me a perception check.
Or like a sign scrawled on the wall that says,
Sure.
"This way be monsters."
Yeah.
This way be Copper Alley, or wherever it is we're looking
Shit
for.
monster be here.
Yeah.
I don't see jack shit.
It's difficult to tell with the sound of the water kind of. It's not like rushing like super hard, but with the water pumping into the room, it's kind of overtaking a lot of any more distant sounds. But you do notice more boot prints, like, because there's like little specks on the ground, like of just shit, boot prints, like, and little flecks of dirt. You couldn't say for certain. It looks like maybe towards the left there are more there's more
Tracks.
dirt, and not even like full like boot prints, but like it looks like maybe a little more trodden. By what, you're not sure, because from the info she gave you, it doesn't seem like the shit monsters really move. They seem to just kind of coagulate in an area and cause a blockage, and then they're just like big lumps of shit that kind of
sludge around the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in your estimation, it looks like there's more dirt on that little bit of paving than on the other, but
then it's just trying to work out whether more dirt means less traction and less people going that way, if you know what I mean. Do you just want to go right? Just check it out.
I think we should go the way that has the less prints.
It does seem logical.
Sure.
It's up to you. You can investigate it more thoroughly if you want, or you know.
You know what? I'll do a quick investigation just to see which way looks more likely for me. Um, 23.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, on the where there's like more dirt, there's you notice amongst the dirt a few more identifiable like boot prints, like humanoid tracks in that direction.
And that's off to the left, not towards the top.
That's off to the left, so to the west, where
Okay.
Vorden is standing. I'm sorry, can people hear? Is there a very loud noise on my end?
No.
Okay, it's fine.
I'm just gonna be like, can I tell roughly what kind of boots these are? Do these look like just like simple boots, military boots? Well made, cheap.
Comparing, like, sort of looking at your own boot, and you kind of put a hand out, to Vorden, and he's like already unlacing his boot again. He's got it down to a fine art, and you're kind of putting it up. It looks like at least one of the intact tracks looks like it's kind of maybe more like work boots, like the ones you've been given. One does look like slightly different. It looks maybe more finely made. There's like actually kind of grooves. There would have been like grip, carved into the sole. They don't look like any of your boots.
Okay.
Maybe they give the officer, maybe they give the sergeants better boots. Maybe it's not a brown cloak at all. Could be.
So I'm just gonna say, well, this way looks like it's been traveled recently. Some of the prints look like they could come from boots we are given, and some of them look a bit finer quality.
Let's go for it then.
Okay, so I'm gonna then start heading down this way.
Okay.
Till I get to about here, and I can peer down this corridor.
Yeah. So, actually, just to get the tool up. Actually, sorry. Let's reveal. Let me zoom in a bit. Yeah. So, coming up here, it reaches another bend. Nothing really catches your eye. It's just the pipeline. The sewer just seems to be kind of, winding and winding around.
Okay. I'm gonna then keep moving forward. Get to the other corner and peek around again.
Yeah. Much the same. You don't see nothing really catching your eye. Just more stone, more shit. A couple of things are bobbing down along. You see a bottle. A bottle kind of float by. A little piece of parchment. Some just debris every so often. Some kind of debris comes in. You see a dead rat. Coming by.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna peek around the next corner.
Yeah. I think, and there's you're seeing, like, you're seeing now as you're getting further and further in. There's kind of like more grime accumulating at the edges and along the walls and little corners, and particularly around the lip of the stonework. Just grime and build up of, let's call it, solid matter.
Does the level of the shit river seem to be getting any higher or anything?
It's maybe an maybe a few centimeters. Maybe.
I'm gonna keep an eye out and see if the boot prints are still continuing this way.
Yep, they do. They're getting a little more faded. As they're losing more and more of their shitty goodness. But as you come around the corner there, you can actually see like the edge of a little opening. Looks like a side chamber of some kind.
I just grin to Navani and I say, "Want to go first, big sis? Let's see what we find in there."
As always. So I'm gonna go down to here.
I'll follow close behind.
Follow them as well.
Is that a room here? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you passed, you pretty much would have just seen it all. There is a room.
I'm gonna go inside.
It looks, it looks like, you've kind of heard, you did like a couple of, in a different part, you've actually done like a little sewer patrol once before, like in training, and you have seen before where there's sometimes little side rooms where there might be, stuff either left there, for Browncloaks or by other Browncloaks. In this room, you can see that it looks like some people were playing cards, but there's a chair has been knocked over. It looks like they kind of left in the middle of a game. So yeah, you can have a rummage. You could see some things.
I'm definitely gonna have a rummage through this room.
Yeah, you can see some things in more plain sight. Like you can see a bundle of rope, on top of one of the barrels. There is a shovel, propped up against one of the boxes. And yeah, to anyone who is, a few of you I'm sure would be familiar with it. Probably especially, Doril. It's the kind of thing that people would, it would be rare, but some people in the boxing club, in the gym, basically would play a game called Kingdom. So this card game Kingdom. So this looks like a full set of Kingdom cards, which is like not, it's not cheap. People play cheaper games. It's like people play dice.
We love
games,
Kingdoms.
Yeah.
We grew up playing Kingdoms. We're good at playing Kingdoms.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, sweet, a set of cards, and I'm gonna like gather them up and just like tuck the whole deck in my pocket.
Is anyone trying to get to them before pouches?
No, I want to like the boxes in the corner. Andy wants to kind of root through those.
Keep his cards. Lost a lot of silver playing that game.
Not there. I'm out in the hallway. Eyes peeled.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. Actually, where's Vorden gone?
He's in the corner.
He's in the room with us.
Here.
Is he? Weird. I don't see his token.
You don't see that at all.
He's just under.
Under. Can you see that? No?
Yeah. Weird. Sorry. I don't know why that was. Anyway, I was like, what happened? The old man disappeared.
I'm just gonna be like, when Vorden says that, I'm gonna be like, then you're clearly not very good at the game.
No argument from me there.
So, Andy,
we should play
give me an
sometime.
You're just give me an investigation check, Andy.
Okay, that's 15.
Cool. So yeah, sort of scattered about the room. I'm just gonna say, because it's good enough for whatever might you're kind of turning things up in the room. Nothing is really, as far as you can tell, tucked away. Like it's not like heavily populated with like little boxes and nooks and crannies. It's like there's a few crates, a couple barrels. So in sort of pulling everything open and searching everything, so you actually find two I suppose suits or two sets of padded armor, which is not great, but I will just I will double check. But padded armor is
I head up to the edge of the room and I like peek round in to see these guys, and I like whisper, shout, "What the hell are you hanky waving tunnel worms doing? What's taking so long? Am I the only one on the edge in here?"
It's AC 11 plus Dex.
Yeah, with disadvantage on stealth, but better Dex than unarmored. So there's two sets of padded armor. There's a shovel. That I can give you like a list of stuff later. So there are two clubs. two extra clubs, as if you didn't have enough. Hang on, I'm actually just gonna copy. What I'll do is I'll copy paste it then into I'll put it into the Discord, just in case I forget later on, and you can kind of refer back to it.
Is there anything, Vorden? Are there any like barrels with intact lids that aren't attached to the barrels, or crates with panels, like a loose panel,
like completely sealed?
Well, Vorden essentially is looking for something he can use as an improvised shield.
Oh, okay. Then actually, yeah, there are. I mean, all of the barrel lids are loose. So I'll get in just 2 seconds. So there's 2 suits of padded armor. There's a shovel. There's 2 clubs. There's a kingdom set and a set of kingdom cards. There's 3 pieces of chalk. You find 4 candles. There are 6 days worth of rations. 3 torches. A tinder box. There's 30 feet of rope, and there's a healer's kit. Just like
where
the
are
first one
the
to
four-
say,
Four
yeah,
candles.
yeah. Do we
Sorry,
do
Joe?
we need 4 candles really? Like candles for forks?
Yeah. I wish that I could say that was intentional. I'm ashamed of myself. So
I'm gonna
yes,
steal the chalk out of that, and then probably take a couple of rations as well.
Here, give us a piece of that chalk.
because I was gonna say, so that's kind of actually I should have said, because I don't know, is Andy, you're gonna give Andy first dibs on anything?
Oh,
If there's just one item in particular, is there anything that Andy really wants? Just because you started like rummaging first.
She's probably going to want one of the padded armors.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I don't
There's
know
also
how long
eight.
she'll
There's also
keep it.
8 copper pieces.
Oh, she's taking the 8 copper pieces for sure.
I forgot that. Yeah.
But yeah, she'll probably as she finds these things, she'll like consider them, and then she'll kind of like dump them on the table as she continues to rummage.
Yep.
So she's going to hang on to the copper pieces and one of the padded armors, and everything else she'll probably just chuck on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give Boyd one of the. I'll give.
I'm gonna say
Dural one of the pieces of chalk.
Yeah. Vorden, will you? Let me see. Give me just roll me a d20.
D20. Okay. It's 4/R, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's I mean, you do you find like one of the lids of the barrels actually has it has a little like leather, it has like a little handle, to lift it up. It's small, so it's kind of like a buckler, so it's going to be +1 AC as opposed to +2, but you can like slip it over your hand. There was just like one small barrel that what you call it, you're not sure what was in it, but it smells like kind of briny, like but so yeah, you have a little bucket, but it's also because it's
just
not
like me.
Yeah, it's not reinforced or anything, so basically it's going to, you're not sure, but it doesn't look like super sturdy. You're not sure how many hits it will stop, but
I snicker in the corner and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And he kind of takes maybe, I don't know, 5 feet of the rope and burns part of it off with his torch.
Yep.
4 feet, let's say, and just kind of like tries to make it a little easier to hold, or just ties it to his arm, kind of thing.
Yes. So yeah, because it does have like a place to kind of to grip it, but yeah, I'd say you can kind of lash it to your arm. So Vorden has +1 AC at the moment, unless he's also wearing padded armor or anything.
I'd like to take the last padded armor.
Mm-hmm. Whoever needs it, whoever doesn't have dex. Well, Doral's okay because the pugilists have unarmored, like a version of unarmored defense. Well,
People are
he's not-
crazy. Don't you know how to duck and weave? Armor and shields. What a load of pish.
Pansies.
I am probably like the middle person in terms of armor class as the wizard right now,
Which is crazy.
which is crazy.
Yeah. I believe the pugilist's like version of unarmored defense is called Iron Chin, I think. So yeah. So base and it's more so actually not unarmored defenses, that it's like they use their con instead of their dex if they're wearing light armor or no armor, I think. Something like that. But Doral is probably in some of the best shape to dodge or tank a hit. So yeah, so that's the you've kind of picked that room clean. So it's like if someone comes by again, it's just this room's just going to be completely like tossed and wiped clean. There's a couple bits of straw, left scattered on the floor and shitty boot prints. But it looks like that's it really, is
Okay. So
as best as you can tell.
Onwards.
Now-
sis.
onwards.
No, just before, so after having kind of geared yourselves, or not geared yourselves up, but having found some of this stuff, we may, depending on how is everyone doing, we will take an intermission at some point in the stream. Or is everyone okay for another little while, or?
I could do with maybe 5-10 minutes. Just
Me too.
5 to 10
bio
Or
break.
just call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just
Should
do
we
a
do
bio
it 5 minutes?
I just think before we get, kind of before we start pressing on again, I think it might be a good time to call
Sure.
it for 10.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds
10
good.
minutes. Cool. All right.
All right.
Well, we'll be back in 10 minutes, so stay tuned, and please subscribe. It really help us out if you're liking the stream so far. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Welcome back to the shithole, to the sewers of Minehelm. So where we left off, you had just ransacked this little side room. Yeah, and we're still on the hunt for a big pile of brown goop that's blocking up our lovely sewer system.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
sneak forward and just peer down this corridor and see what I see.
Before we proceed,
then-
can I ask a question? See, can that be the title of this episode? Welcome to the shithole.
Sure can.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Guns N' Roses style.
I was just about to say, to the shithole! We got shit and piss!
Oh.
You got
Alrighty.
everything you want, everything you need, all the things you don't
Yeah.
want to miss.
We've got nothing you need,
Pee.
but absolutely fuck all right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna scoot up to pouches and
Mhm.
constantly ever vigilant of that little shit.
I don't know if anyone said anything about gathering the rest of the stuff, but I'm happy to carry it as the
So I grabbed a few things off the list.
anything that's left behind. I'll just sort
Yeah.
of like shove in my pockets and boots and
I don't-
whatever.
Yeah.
So I took the rest of the rope, the tinderbox, and 2 of the rations.
I've taken 1 padded armor, and that's it.
And
Yeah.
I've taken the padded
Oh, sorry.
armor.
And the healer's kit. I should probably have that.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have that because you're the only one who has healing.
Oh yeah, what if someone needs to heal
Oh,
you?
sorry. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Somebody
Okay,
else
so who's
take
got
that then.
decent
Who
medicine?
watches the watchman and who heals the healer?
Is medicine survival or intelligence?
It's wisdom. So
Uh,
if you
I think I've
It
got
just-
medicine at +2.
to
I've
stabilize
got
someone
medicine at
is,
0.
Yeah, to stabilize someone is a DC 10 medicine check, but a healer's kit lets anyone, you use up the healer's kit and it just stabilizes them. No check required.
Ah,
Okay.
So who has the worst medicine then?
I've
Yeah.
got 0.
Does anyone have negative wisdom?
I think I also have. I have a +1, so I'm okay.
Do you want Pouches running into the battlefield?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
He's a.
Although
he's like a ferret.
if
I vote we
anyone's
give
going
it.
to,
I vote we give it to Andy. She's probably the person who's most likely to be able to run somewhere and get there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose like as much as
disengage.
she might not want to do it, she can dash in, do the healing kit, and disengage and dash back out. So
yeah, Andy can nip in
I'll
and out
take
again.
the
Um,
healing kit.
Do I need to add anything with the padded armor or?
No, it should have
Um,
automatically updated your AC.
If you drop it in, or
Drop it in from.
From the compendium.
So see the
Okay.
little eye,
The
the kind
journal?
of information
Oh, yeah.
eye, the one just next to it, yeah.
See.
So if you have your character sheet up, and like if your inventory is visible, if you search for padded armor in the compendium and then just drag and drop it onto the
Cool.
inventory, it'll appear, and then you can click it on, like you can equip it, and it should do it automatically.
Yeah.
So the stat says we've only made 7 toilet jokes so far. Come on, guys, we got to pick up the pace.
Pathetic, pathetic.
We're obviously shit at the toilet jokes. There's another one for
Oh.
you.
Stream has gone down the drain.
It's streamed down the drain.
Yeah.
A bunch of gutter mouths in here.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm one away from just
Damn.
walking away.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm just gonna keep my handy dandy unfogging tool at the ready.
Cool.
Mhm.
I'm gonna then look down this little corridor and see what I can see.
Nothing yet. Looks mostly the same.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak along and see what's up this way.
Hang on a second. Like, should you really be doing the scouting here?
Probably not, but
Yeah.
As you come around
Possibly
the
the
corner,
person who should be doing the scouting is like deliberately hanging back.
yeah,
but I can see like Pouch is just like he's eager. He wants to explore this. He wants to find the shit monster that's made of magic and see what that's about.
Andy, phone up,
Andy
cover
has
your
more
ears.
sense.
They may
Cover
be
your
on to
ears.
me.
Andy,
Cover
cover your
my
ears
ears.
because there's a certain furry animal. As you just see one floating down on the river of shit, and first there was a rat, and now there is a dead cat, just
I uncovered my ears too soon.
flowing down. Yeah.
I'm just gonna like turn to Vorden and be like, "Hey, Vorden, dinner. What do you think?
Even
It can't be worse than what they served us this morning."
This is true. This is true.
Thanks for subscribing, Oh Shutter Photo. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Just get up to this corner and like peek around it.
Did he subscribe for the dead cat?
I think it was the
More
dead
dead
shitty
cats.
cat.
It was that timing. Yeah. So so Pouches, you've been making your way through. You've been like kind of like like shimmying and like peeking around corners, like I
Yeah,
assume?
like I like get to the thing and like just like lean out and like look down the next corridor.
Okay, so as you round the corner and you peek around, so just double check. So it doesn't hit you, but you see this like something. It's too quick to tell. It's like a very thin, like little lash of some kind of like tendril, kind of whips out from around the corner. But it misses you. You manage to like just duck out of the way.
Cool. I'm gonna like turn back to her and I'm like, I think we found it, guys.
I think that was it.
What did you see?
Like some like
Very-
tentacle monster is around the next corner.
It was just a very thin, like thinner than the rope. You know, it was like the width of like the piece of copper wire that you found. There was like something like kind of like whipped out very quickly and then retreated.
Yeah, there was this little like tentacle that like tried to whip out and catch me while I peeked around
There
the
are
corner.
so many jokes here. I can't
What
even.
color was
keep up.
it?
I'm
Did I
really
happen to see what
Um,
color it
Keep it
was?
It was pale. You didn't.
It was
quick to
pale.
tell.
Okay.
So many hentai references right now.
Yes, but as
Yep.
well, actually, as you peeked around, you did see. It looks like in that corridor, there are little growths. There seems to be like little purple growths or something.
Oh Lord.
Maybe mushrooms.
If it wasn't brown, it's probably not our shit monster.
No, maybe not, but it's still gonna try and eat us.
Kill it.
Let's go.
Well, I'm not going first. One of
Can
you
it
more
attack you?
well-armored people go. I'll shoot from a distance, thanks.
Out of my way, like he is.
Yeah, you can jump. You can get into the water. You can like move through it. You'll just end up stinking like shit and be covered in sewage.
I can't actually click my token right now because I'm under Borden.
Are you under Borden?
Can you just move? Oh wait,
You're under pouches, I think.
Oh right, okay. Oh yes, I am. I got you. Right, so I'm gonna
Sister Magic Act.
Yeah, occupying the same
So
space.
I'm gonna like as soon as someone rushes out, I'm gonna like push around the corner and unleash whatever magical fury I can.
Can I just take a peek?
Yeah. So give me a perception check.
Oh, I'm great at those. Sorry, 1 second. Perception. Mm-hmm. Hey, not bad.
Yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Nice.
Okay. Right. So 12. Cool. 12. Yeah. So you briefly see. Oops, sorry. And again, it like kind of misses as you go around the corner. There are little like fungal growths. Like some of it looks kind of just like mossy, you know, it's like that kind of dusting of mycelium. But then in two spaces down, like, so I'm gonna say that in the brief glimpse that you got enough to see. I'm just going to give me 1 second. Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm just trying to like... What the hell? Excuse me, guys. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong layer. Sorry. Yep, so... You see two, like, you know, kind of like conical kind of mushroom growths coming out of these spores, and they're filled with holes. They almost look like sea sponges, and you can see that there's like these little filaments kind of wicking in and out of them. They're not the little like filament tendrils are moving, but the fungi aren't.
Oh, okay. I'm going to run in then.
Yeah.
To the one that's closest to me. There. The one whose space I'm occupying right now.
I'm going to sort of stick close to Navani, just to try and sort of like make sure she's okay. And this probably just wants to be right behind her, of course.
No, I'll be like a little bit further behind.
Okay, I'm going to it's not necessarily like combat. These things don't have turns, but I'm gonna just kind of do initiative anyway, just to, you know,
sure,
maybe make this a little more little easier. So okay, so initiative should be up, so you should all be able to roll initiative. If anyone isn't able to, I can add you.
Just everybody be sure to click your token before you roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Two nat 20s on
nice.
2 nat 20s on thing. Pretty good. So yeah, or you know what, I guess I will, fuck it, I'm just gonna roll. I can't really, I don't really have the, yeah, so these guys are gonna go, actually Pouches is gonna go for, is it not, adding
Yeah,
okay, maybe
adding
maybe-
normally.
does he need to be linked to the?
There is a way.
weird.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Hang on, let me see. Give me a second. Did I link him to it?
By the way, did the music just end for me or did it end for everyone?
No, it's working for me.
Oh, that's
Go
weird.
on mine.
Still working for me too. I had a little money spider coming down in the middle of the screen there. That was interesting.
Oh. No, I accidentally closed Roll20, so that's probably why.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Oh,
That might just cause something not to work.
Well, I would figure Roll20 would be smart enough to like start it up again when I reopened it.
if just to be quick, I'm just gonna put this in quotes in the chat so you can see it, because this is what I was doing for monsters and stuff. So, if you
Can we take my first
go-
initiative, which was a 24?
yeah, actually, can I just add? Hang on. Yeah, maybe I'll just add them to work, and I don't know how to add them in a specific. Why am I on the? Oh, I'm on the same. Keep going to the GM layer. Sorry. Okay.
There we
I
go.
don't know.
You just
Yeah,
click on the
can I
number and
yeah,
change it.
So it was 24. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can in the future. I saw that you can without the quotations, obviously. You can put that in as well, just to like manually do. Oh, it's supposed to be. It obviously doesn't show up when you type it in, but you put
Yeah,
like, ampersand and then in brackets you put tracker. Cool.
Okay, cool.
So I guess can I don't know how do you. Okay, it should be set. So why is it not? I don't know why it's not putting everyone in order. I'll drag them manually.
Yeah.
Who has higher decks, Andy or Vorden?
I have a 4.
My dex is 4 plus 4.
I'm gonna give Rogue
Yeah, it would make sense.
Preston. So she's on edge. So I'm gonna say, so Andy, you're up first. And just these things, they're like effect is gonna go off after pouches on like initiative count 20.
Okay. So, but Pouches is going first, right? Pouches goes first because he's there, or do I go first?
No, you go first.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
treat it as initiative, like as if it were combat, you know.
Okay, so what Andy wants to do, in the absence of being able to turn around and run away, is basically try and dash past them.
Yeah. Okay, so you're
Um,
gonna take dash action. Yeah.
Yeah, so that means like my normal movement is 30 feet, but that means I can move 60 feet, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can move 12 squares.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'd be around the corner and past them.
Yeah, and let me just reveal there's one thing.
7, 8.
Is it just
I'll
me or are
probably,
there 2 songs playing at the same time? Sorry.
Oh, the other one is my bad.
Alright.
Sorry. Forgot to stop the other one. Okay.
oh, there's another one.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That would be
7,
12, I
8,
think.
9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's 12. So, let me just reveal this. Can you oh, hang on. Oh, I'm on fog. Sorry. Yeah, Andy, can you give me 3? Oh no, sorry, I'll be making them. Sorry. Yeah.
Bye,
so,
Andy. We'll miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one, you actually managed to like as you're running by, it's like you've kind of you've heard the others talking about these things, so you kind of Andy like one thing Andy is very good at is running away. She's like, okay, rest your shoulders. Then you just but while everyone is still kind of arguing, Navani's like peeking around, you're wondering what to do. Andy's just like earlier when she was scurrying, crawling on the ground. Andy's like running and kind of, going around people, around this, 5 foot wide thing, and is like scurrying under Navani's legs and just dashes past the two of these things. They wick out their little kind of filament tentacles. And she's like, yes, and looks back, at the others, and then kind of seeing the other one too late. The last one does. Where's it gone? Sorry. Yeah, and the other one.
Sounds like somebody's on life support in the background. I can hear this
Yeah.
little beep, beep.
Yeah, it's doing like this like beep tone that comes in.
Sorry, I'll.
No, it's okay. It's just it sounds like life support. So.
it's a
Which is
sign
really
one of us is
worrying
going
when
to
you're
die.
being told what happened
Yeah.
to that one thing you didn't manage to dodge.
Yeah, it is thankfully only one point of necrotic damage. As this thing, it's like as you're running by, it just catches the edge of you, and this like little filament like tentacles, very thin. You feel it like touch your neck, and you can feel it like stick to your neck. And then as you run away, it like pulls away, and you can feel it kind of burn, or like sort of, like it was doing something to your flesh, necrotizing it. And it kind of like there was those little filaments, like in it, and it like kind of pulls a bit of your skin away. It really stings, and it like feels like like you just touched something gross. But unless you still have no, you don't have cunning action yet.
No,
do you?
not yet. No.
Not till second.
So that's me. Unless
Okay.
I can see anything up ahead it looks like I can see an empty room presumably up ahead.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So that's Andy.
Now
The awesome
it's-
runner awayer.
Yeah, it's Vorden.
So normally you can't pass through someone else's.
You can pass through an ally.
And it pass
Yeah,
through an
you-
ally's space. Okay.
Mhm.
In that case, Vorden's going to say, "Oi, where's she going?" And he kind of runs ahead, but upon seeing one of these things, he stops. Are these small enough for me to stop in their space?
Yes, sorry, they are like tiny,
Oh, okay.
count
And
as tiny sized.
okay, as it comes around the corner, he says, "Bloody hell!" and pulls up his buckler, improvised shield, which is really crap, and gets his torch. And he's been leading his way with the torch, and he kind of just beats it with the torch.
Yeah, so give me no proficiency. Give me just. Oh, actually, there is. Let me check one thing. There's actually.
His weapon.
You can use a
attack?
torch. No, there's actually rules.
It gives you a +1 to gives you 1 fire damage if you manage to hit with it.
Yeah, if you make a melee attack with I'd say it's I'd just say improvise, weapon, so not proficient, so just D20 plus I'd say plus
Flatlining.
strength. Yeah.
So hold on a second. So I'm just gonna roll a D20 plus. What was that? Sorry.
I'd say
strength.
strength because it's more like a
Okay.
club. It's not a finesse kind of thing. Oh, yeah. So actually, Vorden brings this it's like, oh fucking hell, and he just kind of like instinctively just kind of like beats this thing with the torch, and the flame hits it, and it like immediately starts like shriveling and kind of burning away, and it actually if I can be so rude, it shrivels and dies, or at least that little outcropping does.
Take that, you dirty bastard.
Yeah. So you've still got 15 foot of movement, I think.
With my other bit of movement, I do move to here. Hold on, is that
Okay.
enough?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's another 15.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's me then.
Cool. Pouches.
So I'm just going to move up to here, and I'm going to chant this time in Sylvan. I'm just going to be like,
Okay.
Wusayan. And I'm going to cast Ray of Frost. Like, you're going to watch my hand like freeze, and then just this blue beam shoot from it.
Go for it.
Oh no!
So
there's
that's
like-
a natural one.
Oh no!
Mhm.
On your first
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah. So just perfect. So yeah, you like fire out the ray of frost, and it's kind of like it hits the like just behind the little mushroom. It hits the like sewage, and it's like it splashes as it hits it, but then it like freezes the liquid for just like a split second before it liquefies again, and then goes back. And just in that brief second, you could swear that the splash almost took the form of like a middle finger, just like just like.
And then Pouch is gonna duck behind his big sister.
As if it wasn't embarrassing enough.
Oh yeah, God! I mean, he has no shame.
Yeah. So then, just before Navani, these things are going to go, and since one is Vorden is within 5 feet of one, it's is a 14. What's Vorden's AC right now?
Patty.
You're muted.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was muted. What was that?
What's Vorden's
The
AC?
classic.
14.
Oh, so just.
I'll just be back in
Yeah.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 points of Vorden takes 2 points of necrotic damage as like this thing you just kind of bonked one and it was like you're feeling a bit confident, and then one of these things just like whips out and it kind of like you feel it like scrape up your back and kind of like burn, feels like a chemical burn on your skin.
You hear Vorden kind of let out a shrill shriek, like really high pitched. More that he's creeped out by this thing than.
Oh yeah, it's like you get that shiver up. It's like he does like a Ned Flanders shriek.
Yeah, exactly.
So then it's Navani.
Right, I'm gonna go up to this thing and smash it.
So give me an attack roll with that club.
Where's my club? Okay. Oh wait. Whoops, sorry. Clicked the wrong thing. I don't see it on my character sheet. Probably another thing that wasn't added, so I'll just add it. Sorry, bear with me. It's just a normal club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
you, you're grabbing it there. Yeah.
I'm trying to, but it's not adding.
Hang on.
Could
Yeah, why is it not?
you could copy
Roll a
and
D.
paste- If you copy and
Yeah,
paste
you
that
can always
in
do it
without
manually,
the
but I don't know why it's not. That's weird.
Yeah, it's not allowing me to add it in for some reason. So
Yeah, I'm trying to drag and drop it as well, and it's not.
Is it in
strange.
your?
But like I did it was because I put padded armor in for Andy earlier on, so I don't know.
Strange. It's a strength-based weapon, so if you use a little thingy that I copied into the chat.
Well, she would
Yeah.
add proficiency as well.
Oh, you would
Yeah,
also.
you could
so-
always You'll be, because what's your strength is
4.
okay, so +6, d20 +6.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't know why that won't go in.
D20. And then do I do the +6?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it'll roll it. Okay. No. So I'll just roll a d20 and then add 6.
If-
Oh,
Natural 20.
Whoa. Yeah, don't bother rolling.
You smushed it.
Yeah, Navani just is like, see, it's like everyone was kind of like, and everyone's running, and Pouches is like, oh, Ray of Frost magic, and there's this like little mushroom with its little tendrils, and Navani just like slowly walks up to it and just gets her club and just like just like hitting a fly, just smushing a bug, just like and it just squelches all over the place.
It's like some Mr. Miyagi catching a fly with chopsticks kind of.
Yeah.
No, nothing so elegant.
Okay.
This is just
So how much movement do I have left?
4 squares.
2, 3. Okay, that gets me to here. And that's me.
And now it's Doril.
Okay. I just go for a little move. Like, is this 5 feet, or do I need to go boop?
No, we'll do the this actually came up in a game on Friday. So that's another thing we'll do for diagonal movement in this. It'll be like the first diagonal is 5 feet. Second diagonal costs 10 feet, like which I didn't actually know that's how it worked in Pathfinder, but someone told me that's Pathfinder rules.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it just means that it keeps it like a little bit, kind of keeps the distance.
So in other words,
more
just always
consistent.
use one diagonal.
All right, cool. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He assesses the situation and he decides to start to go in a bit more of a jog.
Yeah. Well,
And that's my turn.
cool. So Doril has kind of like, has seen these boobies, it's like, this is what they get, running headlong in, and Doril's kind of shaking his head like, these, and it's back to Andy.
So Andy is gonna just keep moving forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, till she gets into this room. And then she just wants to like check out the room, like what's going on in here. What do I see?
Give me, what is it? Sorry, it keeps going to the wrong one. What the? I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Sorry, it will not reveal. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So what's going on? So give me a perception check.
Perception. Let's see. We got. Get out of the way. 17.
Cool. So, sorry, I need to pull this down. Yeah. So first of all, as you come into the room, you can see that like to the west, is. I'm actually gonna reveal it from the GM layer. This is like, I think I should do it. So it's just like, I just did a little, so you know where it is. It's just a crappy little drawing. So on, let me just reveal kind of some of this stuff. Cool. So to the west, you see there's like a little portcullis. If you can see, on the map, if it's zoomed in, you can see this little portcullis. So it blocks off the western entrance. It doesn't seem to have any kind of release mechanism. I say a portcullis, it's just iron bars, go across. It seems to like cut this section of the sewers off. Same to the south. So directly to the south, you see, extending off into the darkness and around the corner, unnaturally large spider webs. Like nothing you've ever seen. These things look like, you do not want to see the spider that's weaving these, and it's just like, coming up and seems to have been stopped by the iron bars, like something was building its web outwards and then, reached this blockade. And then to the west, butting up against the iron bars, because basically what happens in these, what happens in these kind of sections of sewer, in this here, where it kind of the water meets the stone, there's a little it flows under the stone, so you can see that underneath this chamber, the water is obviously flowing underneath. So but here by the iron bars, you see what looks in the shape of a humanoid body, bundled up in cloth and bound with rope. It looks like a humanoid body that was floating down the river, and then instead of going under, it seems to have been turned and gotten wedged. So there's just this wrapped humanoid body, kind of wedged and stuck up against the against the iron bars and against the stonework, head first.
Okay. All right. I don't have a long stick to try and poke it and push it down so it might keep flowing. Yeah, so Andy's just going to probably end up staring at that for a few minutes while
want to help it along in case the corpse is late for an appointment or something. It's
well, also that it might find its way to where the Red Cloaks will investigate it or something. It's not my job, but I could certainly help the poor corpse on its way.
Well, you could tell someone that there's a corpse down here.
Or that, yeah. But also, if I could get the corpse, if I could get at the corpse, you never know what's in with the corpse. That could have been a rich dude who got, bonked on the head, wrapped in a rug, and sent down the river, and maybe they weren't thorough about emptying his possessions before they did that. You never know.
Who can say?
Yeah. Okay. Andy's just gonna wait here for the others to get through the gauntlet.
Cool. Warden
is just going to, after being attacked and screaming, kind of composes himself and pretends that didn't happen. And he moves 1, 2, 3. So half of his movement, let's say he moves to the adjacent space, which means he has 2 spaces left. And it does the same thing. He's kind of holding his shield up as if it would protect him somehow, but lashing out with his torch the way he did before. So I assume I roll the same thing I rolled earlier.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. 13 plus I add my strength, which is at 2.
Sorry. Yeah.
And my, do I get to add my proficiency to that?
Not for, it's just an improvised.
Not for improvised. Okay, so 15 then.
Cool. So yeah, it's definitely, it's very easy. It's not kind of moving or anything. It doesn't seem to be capable of moving. So again, you just kind of, Vorden is going past, kind of jabs out, with the torch to kind of, and he kind of burns the corruption away. And yeah, these things all seem to be dealt with.
In that case, I'm going to use my last 2 bits of movement to get closer to that room.
Cool. Yeah.
That's me.
So there's no need for initiative anymore. So we will. I think if I just get rid of that turn tracker, it's real good.
So just catch up with everyone.
Yeah.
So as the others start arriving in the room, Andy's gonna look at them and then point through the grate and say, "There's a body, guys."
So, is it all bloated and full of shit, or?
Can't tell. It's wrapped in. It's like wrapped in some kind of cloth, and bound with rope. So like somebody got a body, and they, wrapped it up and tied it up together.
Yeah. Can we grab it?
Down. It looks like it would be too big to pull like through the bars, but you could reach in and grab its head and, give a pull, see how much of it comes through.
Could we see who it is?
Yeah, I think we should definitely take
maybe
a look.
what we should do is pull it up onto the side here, and then we can see what we can find.
Yeah.
Navani doesn't have a key to this portcullis, does she? On her keyring of keys
No,
for the.
sorry, I meant to say I was using the term. I could only get portcullises on the dungeon draft, so I started calling them portcullises. But really, they're just iron bars that are like floor to ceiling. It just seems like sections of the sewer are have been barred off from, anything but the water traveling.
And how close are the bars together?
God, I'm trying to think. Actual about yay wide. My head could fit through, maybe.
So they're
Okay.
quite wide then.
If
If your head can fit through.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh.
No, I have.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Ooh.
Yeah. So
Right.
What do you think? What's your next character gonna be?
Already with the threats.
No. I don't need to threaten you. This place is a deadly hellhole.
I know it's a death trap anyway. Okay. So maybe we just try and drag it up onto the side part there, out of the shit water, and try and maybe put it horizontal to the bars.
And just dig
try
through
to
its
drag it
pockets.
through.
Pretty much, yeah, and figure out who it is and rip it open and have a look.
Yeah,
Is
open
anyone
it and
giving
lift the corpse.
Navani a hand?
I will.
Navani a
I'll
hand in
use
lifting?
Mage Hand to make sure that it doesn't get snagged on anything.
Okay.
Andy's totally on board with helping pull this gross corpse through the bars.
Okay, so I'll just say, Navani, just roll me. Well, you know what? Actually, roll me a strength check with advantage,
Okay.
because it is currently. I mean, it's buoyant, but it is once it gets
Oh,
out
I
of the
didn't
water,
roll
it's
with
deadly.
advantage.
Just roll it again
Okay.
at normal.
At normal.
Oh, well, that works too.
16. So, look, I'll just take. So, yeah, Navani manages to kind of hoist it up onto that, and when it comes out of the water, it's considerably heavier. It's just a dead body. And you kind of pull it up. You manage to get by twisting it, you get most of its kind of head through the bars. And it's I don't know if you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna open
like
it.
a Christmas present. Or...
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm
World's
assuming.
nastiest
What did I get
Christmas
this year?
present.
Andy, are you offering your dagger? Is that do people?
Oh yeah,
think
my
you
little
have that,
paring
or
knife. I'm guessing I'm a lot shorter than Navani because I'm quite short. So I'm gonna offer you the paring knife I managed to pilfer earlier. To
Cool, I'll
cut
just-
it open.
Borrow that off you for a second till we see what this is. So I slice it open.
so yeah, this kind of ripping the some kind of canvas cloth material. You're not quite sure what it is. Tearing it open, pulling the ropes off. There's just an immediate smack in the face of putrefaction, just foul gases that of this decomposing body. Eyes are rolled back in its head. It's a human man, very dark, hair is just drenched, plastered to his pallid forehead, and but you can see that there's something weird about the set of his jaw. It's his mouth is and it's kind of a it's weird. You're not sure, but you something. You can also see a couple of his teeth. His teeth seem from the bit that you can see through his his lips are kind of shrinking back. You know,
Yeah.
you can see that parts of his teeth seem chipped.
Okay.
broken, and there's something weird about the set of his jaw. So I don't know if anyone else is, if we're, you know.
Do we recognize him or?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Well, unless I mean, who wants to take a look?
I don't have a high investigation.
I'd like to like toss his pockets a bit and like search through them. I'll
Well,
use the mage hand to like.
I was going to
to the
kind of
mage
pull
hand.
him closer and do that, but maybe that's an easier way of doing it.
Yeah, you won't be able to get to his pockets through the bars, except with the mage hand you could, like, you might have to kind of feel around and kind of put it down into the rest of the, because you could only cut like this much open, you know.
Yeah.
But
No, I
around,
think now that it's open, I can like push it open, pull it open down further
makes
with
sense.
the mage hand and
you don't.
get in there.
I mean, you can feel the mage hand. It feels like maybe the material he's wearing, it feels like velvet. It's wet, but velvet. You think like, so like maybe the guy's a bit more well-to-do. You're not sure.
Anything in his
Could be a
pockets?
merchant. No, you don't seem to find. It's weird. His pockets seem to have been like picked clean. But is anyone? But anyone, I think.
If I keep going further, do I find he's wearing boots?
You would. He's wearing like. I mean, he's wearing footwear, yeah, but they seem certainly not like workmen. They're more, you know, leisurely. They seem more of a man of leisure.
Yeah.
But anyone, yes.
Do I recognize his
anyone-
face?
Well, if you want
Or-
to give me a perception check.
That was 21.
You're kind of looking at, you know, taking in his nose, his kind of aquiline nose, and you know, dark hair. You can't really see his eyes. You only see the bottom of his eyes, and you don't really recognize him. But especially that he started to kind of bloat, but then you do notice, because Navani remarked on it, his teeth. You think you spot something in his mouth, or like right back, like deep inside his mouth. It's something something catches the light, the very faint light of the torch.
Can I reach in to try and can I reach that far to pull out
Yeah,
whatever it is?
his head is basically out between the bars.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I want to reach in and
Yeah, it takes a minute.
Silence of the Lambs style. I want to just like
Exactly.
reach in and pull out what I
There's a
see.
bit of rigor mortis, so you can kind of pull it a
Like
bit. but
wrench that jaw open.
I mean, it depends. Give me a strength check.
Strength. Where are you? Oh, okay. My strength's not too bad actually. 17.
Oh, yeah. Andy is like, at the prospect of something shiny, just summons a fucking a wellspring and just like fucking yanks this guy's jaw like open like a Pez dispenser. And then reaching in, like in his, you're not sure if it was deliberately shoved that far in or if it slipped more and if it was just placed in his mouth. But there is a piece of bloodstone, so kind of black, precious stone flecked with red. It's this kind of greeny black flecked with red. And you would think that it would, I mean, especially to your eye and your line of work, you'd be pretty confident you could get around 50 gold pieces for it. But 4 other people have also just watched you pull it out of his mouth.
So holding it, including its corpse gore, that's I'm sure coating it in my hand, I'm just gonna be like, did he try to eat it to protect it from like something, or did somebody shove this in there? You know. And she's kind of mulling on this to herself, but she is saying it out loud so that if any of the others want to.
Does it look like he has like any like the wounds that like someone like yanked his jaw open to shove it in there, or is it hard to tell?
No. But just as Pouches is hang on, where am I now? Sorry. Just as Pouches is thinking that, there's like a little you feel a tremor. Like you feel like a, like they had said there had been some tremors, so you feel a little movement, a little tremor, and some dust kind of like that's kind of like falls from the ceiling as there's a disturbance, and also, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So Pouches, Navani, and Andy. Will you give me wisdom saves? But Navani, you could yeah, you can 3 of you give me wisdom saves.
1 second.
16.
I have advantage on this, right? Or advantage on saving throws against being charmed and magic. Can't put you to sleep. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I was gonna say because I actually forgot about that. I was giving you advantage for another reason, but that also.
Oh, then I should also, because I'm also half elf.
Well, it was
yeah.
Some other I can't say.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just give you a wisdom saving throw. Where the hell are my saving throws? Okay,
right
see
next.
it. Oh shit.
Did you give and then Andy, will you give me wisdom save?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Oh wait, no, I found it. Wisdom. Oh dear.
So weirdly, all 3 of you, it's like you hear this like something like whispering in your head. Like Vorden and Doril, you don't hear anything. And then it's like, Navani, you can hear something in your head, and it's like, never. It's like, he will lead you to your death. And then Pouches, you hear, she'll abandon you just like the rest. And then Andy, you hear in your head, you just hear this like, we can offer you strength. You can have it all. But Pouches and Navani, you kind of shake your head, and the whispering stops, and you each take a point of psychic damage. But Andy, you do not. And then for all 3 of you, the whispers just subside. It's just this strange, sinister whispers.
So while that was happening, in anticipation of a attack, possibly, and also seeing an opportunity if this is happening to other people, the Bloodstone has been pocketed.
Okay, give me sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Just because this was going on.
We don't see that, no?
So 18.
Can I roll for perception? Because I'm sort of still keeping an eye out.
I was going to say, Doril and Vorden, you can roll for perception, but Pouches and Navani, what's your passive?
Mine is 13.
Okay.
I'll let it roll.
Doril, the boxer, man. He's reading that body language.
Yeah.
Andy was telegraphing that move. He's like, yeah, Doril, you see her pocket the Bloodstone as for no reason. Pouches, Navani, and Andy both just kind of bugged out a bit. They kind of just got a weird look on their face. And then Andy was pocketing the Bloodstone.
Andy pocketed the Bloodstone. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Everything else seems still again.
Did I didn't take 1 damage, you said, yeah.
No.
Which is weird because she rolled the lowest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me wonder what the fuck is going on here.
Okay.
And you shall continue to wonder.
So I think we should press on.
Do we see anything interesting
Did
to the
anyone
south
hear
through that
that, though?
portcullis?
Did anyone else hear that?
It just seemed like some strange whispers.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, but what was whispering? Was that one of you? Are one of you like taking the mic?
I heard my
No.
Not this time.
My conscience.
We're
spoke
already
in the
down
area.
here. It's already
Yeah.
creepy and shitty enough without one of you deciding to play practical jokes and whisper in ears.
No, that wasn't me this
Look,
time.
I'm looking at you, Pouches, with your magic, but you're saying it's not you. So it wasn't any of you.
No,
No.
Did anyone else hear it though? Me and Pouches heard it.
I heard it.
Vorden's just standing there, slack-jawed, really confused.
Let's just hurry up and get this job over
Bloody,
with.
bloody kids. Yeah. So no, but to the
I'm
south,
gonna just like
Pouches, it's
follow
just,
Navani.
just like you see, there's a fuck ton of like giant spider webs, but nothing moving.
Nothing interesting.
Nothing moving that you could see. Let me
Yeah,
just
I'm just
gonna
gonna follow
actually-
Big Sis then.
yeah.
The
just let me
spider
zoom
could
out. I'm
be
just-
the giant spider who has the giant webs though could be protecting like super awesome loot. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's not our
we
job.
can't get through the gate.
That's
Might be able.
true.
Who knows? Maybe you'd be able to force them down. I'm going to, just because it's like they're kind of following this pattern. You know, there's like that's just kind of section of sewer. You know, so you can kind of move along.
I'm gonna like peek around this corner, move up to here, peek around this corner.
Yeah, and then you. Sorry, lost my tool there for a second.
Ooh,
You can
gonna
see
go
in a
peek
bit
in this
better.
room.
Yeah, you can peek in, and as you as you peek into that room, could who had the what was everyone's passive perception again?
12.
I need to make a note of that.
13.
Passive.
13.
Can anyone tell me where that is on the sheet? Just
Right below skills, at the bottom of skills, there's a little block.
14. Thanks.
If you click on your
11.
token and you mark it in the red circle, it makes it easy for the DM to find.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. We can
We do it later.
work that out for the next one.
So
Yeah.
the red
Um,
circle is what we want to put in our passive perception, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can yeah, so what is Andy's and Dural's passive? I might miss
14
this
for
one.
Andy.
11 for Duro.
Okay, so yeah, Andy has 14, and did anyone with Navani 14 or 13?
13.
13.
Okay, so Andy, you hear from like north on the map. Oh, sorry. You hear like from like that direction. You hear something like some kind of movement. Like you hear things shifting. Sounds like maybe like pebbles shifting. It just kind of like echoes down the corridor.
So I'm gonna kind of like call out in as low a voice as I can get away with and still be heard by the others that there's something up around the next corner. I'm hearing noises like stones.
I'm just gonna like take a peek into this room here. What I see.
Yep. So as you peek in there, you see it's like one of those storerooms. So it's a little bigger, and it carries on. So you have 60-foot of dark vision. So
Yeah.
10,
So
20,
2 more squares.
and 5, 10, 15, 20, 20.
Oh, like a lot more squares.
40, 45, 50, 60. So it kind of carries on. It's not quite like as much like the other ones. It's kind of
I'm gonna then step in and just kind of like see what I can find in the crates. Hopefully something useful.
cool. Give me
Yeah.
investigation.
Andy's doing the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to work together on that, or are we doing each our own role?
Yeah, because are you both like because I'll try and like to split up
I'm-
who finds what.
I'm keeping an eye on both.
I think if we
Well, both
we
give me
both
both give me investigation checks if you're both like searching separate things.
19.
and I got 13.
Okay.
Warden's just keeping an eye on the corridor to make sure nothing sort of sneaks up.
Yeah. It's not so. Sorry, where am I? Yeah, you find. So it's actually like. Sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second. You find. Where did I put it? Sorry. Yeah. So, basically, I'm just gonna say, I'll take. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, pouches. You find. I'm just gonna pop it into the Discord.
I love Durrell's little patrol that he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he's just like.
I think it's called. I think it's called impatient pacing. I think it's what that's called.
Andy's actually gonna like shout back. Can you just like stop stomping and just stay still? It's really distracting. Just as you pass by the door one time. So you probably don't even hear it because by the time she shouts it, you're probably gone too far down the corridor.
So I'm just gonna like give all of that out except for the coin.
Yeah. You know what? I probably should have like removed that stuff, but I'll. I think. Sorry.
So anyone else can like take what they like from that. I'm just taking the coin. Very sneaky. I'm not gonna like show anyone that I took it.
I might take the rusty hand axe.
Sorry, I'm just.
I'd like the dagger, but I think if we have a fighter who needs a weapon, it might be better than me having it. But if nobody else wants the dagger, I'll take the dagger for sure.
Well,
I'm gonna also hand you like Navani.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because
I'm gonna also hand. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
I'm just gonna hand Navani the like rusty chainmail and be like, here you go.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. So just for the people at home, sorry, because I just I copy pasted it in for the guys to see. So pouches found was a dagger, like a rusty hand axe, and I accidentally revealed it on the chat. So basically, it's like it's going to be diminished in some way, so it has a possibility of breaking. And then also there was some rusted, like a rusted chain shirt. So it operates as a chain shirt, but -1 AC. There's a pound of salt, a pound of flour. There's a lamp, 3 flasks of oil, a bottle of wine. There was some. There's a silver piece and 12 copper pieces. And then Andy found there was another shovel, a miner's pick. There's a chain, but one of the links looks weak, so it's not as strong as a regular chain. There's a shield like with a big splinter in it. It looks cracked, so kind of weakened. And then also she found a crowbar and then a 20-foot length of rope and a 60-foot length of rope.
So Andy wants to keep the crowbar. She'll probably call out to the others about like the pick, the shield, and all the other stuff. And again, if nobody wants from Pouch's Hall, she'll take the dagger.
Borden wants the shield, even though it looks pretty knackered.
But it will be, it'll be +2 as opposed. It's a regular shield.
But it looks like it might break at some point still. But it still looks better than this piece of crap that he's been carrying around with the rope attached to it. So he throws that line.
It's going to block at least one hit.
He takes actually he puts the other thing on his back just in case, and carries this other shield in its stead. He also packs away the miner's pick and takes the lamp and oil flasks. Is the wine bottle intact?
Yeah, Yep.
He's like,
this is a sealed bottle of wine, like a
and
corked bottle of wine.
he's
Not
like,
corked as in bad, but it's got a cork.
says, would anyone like this? And before anyone can answer him, he says, no, okay, and puts it in his pocket.
Would anyone like this?
So yeah,
How does the chain shirt work then? So
It's just -1 AC. To like a rusted chain shirt it's 13 plus dex to a maximum of 2.
okay, so if I just add it and then reduce my arm.
You treat it as like 12 plus dex up to a max of 2.
are you swapping out your your
Yeah,
other armor? Can I take that armor you're
can.
getting rid of then?
yeah.
What was it
Gordon,
called again?
Padded
Padded.
armor.
Padded armor. Okay.
Did you end up going dex for Vorden? Because I know you were
Yeah.
thinking about changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vorden is a more of a dex fighter.
Just decided that it fitted better with his background as well. So.
Here, hold on a minute. You're a bit slim for that pick, son. Get it here. Us dwarfs know what to do with it.
Very hard to argue with that, my friend. Here you go. He hands it over.
Perfect.
Um,
And he sticks it in between his hands and spins it. Aye, that'll do.
Andy's also just going to pick up the 60, the longer rope, so the 60-foot rope, just to have some rope.
Mhm.
Um,
Everyone give me a perception check.
oh. Can I take the pound of salt and pound of flour?
Yep.
While we're, so that means I'm probably distracted. Let's see.
A check, not a save, right?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Well,
22.
Boyd knows what's
woo!
going on,
yeah.
and Andy knows what's
Boyd-
going on.
Where?
Boyd hears the first one, and then Andy hears the second. There's like off again in that direction, so kind of back and behind you, so kind of to the northwest on the map. You hear like two loud pops. Sounds like something like bubbling, like bubble pop. Yeah. You just hear some kind of bubbling, some kind of bubble pop, but doesn't look like anyone else heard it.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna like wander a little bit further into this room, wondering if it's still a storeroom further in.
Andy is also going to go that way, ignoring the sound she heard behind her.
No, this is clearly not a storeroom further in.
should we
I'm gonna-
investigate that noise that Andy heard? Or did Andy even tell us that she heard the
Andy
noise?
didn't.
Andy didn't tell you because she wanted
Okay.
to keep going that way to see what was to basically like Patches, see if it was, or Pouches, to see if it was another storeroom with more stuff.
Sure.
Pouches.
So I'm
over
gonna
your
like
head.
step into the middle of the room and like look around down each of the corridors.
So. Sorry, just click this to reveal. Sorry, I should reveal this more. Sorry. Sorry, just gotta scroll down. So it seems to kind of
End
actually
in what
just-
literally looks like something.
Yes, yes. Because so you see, there's like much larger pipes here, and then the water is kind of like roiling a bit more, and then in those two chambers there are big overhead pipes that are like dumping more sewage in. And Navani and Pouches, will you give me Constitution saving throws?
Yep.
Okay. Six.
Oh,
12.
okay. Just let me check where I put me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, Navani, you like you kind of like your eyes kind of like flutter like a little bit, just kind of like something, you shake it off. But Pouches, you start to feel nauseous. And it's just like suddenly your head kind of swims a little bit, and Pouches now is suffering from like a level of exhaustion as you just like something seems to like really take it out of you, and your ears start to kind of like ring. Your head feels foggy. You don't know what's going on. It's like just it's weird.
Okay, I'm gonna like if I feel like I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna like run forward a bit just to kind of get away from the smell of this chamber.
Yeah, it's because it's weird. There's no. I mean, it smells like sewage, like and quite badly so because there's a lot of it pumping in. But yeah, but you're not sure if that's what was doing it, so you're kind of like, "Boof," and shake it off. But yeah, your head still feels kind of like swimmy.
I'm gonna move forward to here and just be like, oh look, more stuff. Maybe there's something I can just have a drink here or something, and I'll like look through again.
Yeah.
This time at disadvantage.
Yeah. So as
the rest of us move up, do we need to con save, or are we moving through fast enough that we don't?
I just should have said that. Sorry, Vorden, just before you go in, before you roll.
Sorry.
Oh, nice.
So as you step into the room, and you're like, Pouches kind of rushes in and is like, it's like, oof, kind of breathing out. It's like you see like, oh, another storeroom. It's like barrels, and then you see as you come into the room, over where there is piles of spilt, like looks like more sacks of like flour. There is just like, what is that? Is that a carpet? It's like a blanket, and then this blanket, it's a blanket made of fur. Oh no, it's a bunch of little blankets as this huge mass just starts to wiggle and wriggle, and little tails come out, and you see a giant swarm of rats just like start to pool off this spilt sack of flour, and they turn with their beady little eyes on you, and they look hungry.
I'll just get him.
And then next week we'll see if they
eat our faces.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cut it there. Before we get into combat, and I have to keep these lovely people up an hour past bedtime with a rat fight. But yeah,
it's
so
really
I think
dark here.
That's
I have to fix the lights in here. Stop that from happening.
Yeah.
Paddy after dark.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll just buy you one of those, like, those restaurant like flies things. We'll just buy one of those, and you can put it in the middle of the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that should save. So I'm just gonna.
I love that music.
The music is
The
made.
cello, isn't it cool?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is that? Sorry, it skipped. That is.
It's very
that is
Game
not
of-
mute. That is not music for you now. That is. Forget you heard anything.
So Lestat says cast suggestion on the DM to continue for 1 more hour.
Yeah. Well, cast suggestion on
Cast suggestion on the man who has 3 small children and wants to go home.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
next time we're gonna start on time at 6:30.
Yeah, we
So-
started quite late.
Yes.
We started
It's an
quite late.
awesome
this
rat
one.
fight out the gate.
Yeah, there is. At least we're
Yeah.
kind of in it now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Any
and-
combat at the beginning of the next sessions, everyone has to watch and see what happens.
exactly.
Yes. So
Um,
you'll also see that you are now where you are on the map. Oh no, you're not on that. I put you on the other thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the other direction you could have gone, but you'll find that out once you if you look back around. So it was good. It was good. I think it simulated it well, the feel of the sewers underneath Minehelm.
Yeah, it was
But
awesome.
it's windy and bendy, and you will get lost down there if you're not careful. So yeah, we will pick up next week.
people
and
should
we'll
hit
see
the
what happens. So
Patreon.
well, yes. So I wasn't sure. Yes, we just launched. Our Patreon. So it's going to be Great stuff on there. So every month we're going to have encounters, new original monsters and magic items, detailed NPCs with their own stat blocks. And then there'll be something extra that's different every month. I can't say what the extras will be. And we'll have some other things coming in quarterly. But yeah, it's gonna be great. I've seen, if I do say so myself, I've seen some of the stuff that we're gonna be putting out there, and it's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, and it's all gonna be set around the Cloaks and the Minehelm kind of, campaign setting. So a little bit gritty, maybe a little bit erring on the kind of the tough side, but we've got suggestions in there for scaling it back, so it'll kind of fit any table, and suit whatever your needs are. So just tools for DMs to throw at their players.
Can I say something else about that? Because I'm just noticing we actually have about 9 patrons already, and looking at them, there's a few people from the community, which is really awesome. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. We really appreciate it. And some people are actually supporting us at pretty high tiers, which is really, really nice. So I just want to let people, and if anyone like that is watching, there are certain tiers, obviously they give you more, and some of the higher tiers, well, all the tiers give you voting powers for some of the content that we're going to create in the future, so you can have a say and help us develop. And also a little sneak peek for you guys here watching is we are going to eventually turn this content into a publication or into a printed book later on down the line, so you'll have a say in how that works. And the people who pledge the Patreons in the higher tiers, they will also get to sit in on a call once a month with some of the game developers and writers and different members of the team, and just chat about ideas and talk about play testing and things like that. So it's really about getting the community involved, and getting a feel from other people who, other DMs and players, and what they want to see in a campaign and in a stream, and just trying to fit that all together so you guys can have the power to kind of mold this publication. And then later on down the line, we might, after the Cloaks of Minehelm is out, we might do another book or a sequel, or who knows what the future holds. So just thought I'd put that out there.
I just want to say something as well. All that is great and fantastic, but we understand if you can't afford that type of thing, what really would help us is just speak to your friends, tell them you enjoyed the stream, follow us on our socials, share things, word of mouth. All that really helps us as well, not just all that other stuff. So
join the Discord. It's great. It's been growing. I've been there. I remember when it was like 20 people, but it hasn't changed much. You're still it's great to see everyone is still interacting, and people from Penny Dragon are still getting involved and saying hello to everyone that comes in, and it's great. It's great to see, and we're really kind of getting a big community there, and it really is. It really is the kind of the best thing about all this is. Yeah, that's why we play D&D or role-playing games,
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, for your support, regardless of what you do for us. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks.
So if anyone has anything else.
No, I think that's it.
To say our next game. So we've got Lost Minds is on tomorrow. It's moved from a Tuesday to a Monday now. So people can tune in for that. And then we'll be running this again next Sunday. But there are other games coming up, so we're filling up our schedule throughout the week with different bits and pieces. So
I'd love to run a game at some point in the near future, so I'll chat to you about that, Michaela, offline.
Cool. Alrighty.
Nice. Okay, we will see you next time, guys. Subscribe, tune in next week. Hopefully they don't all die,
Fingers crossed.
We won't.
And if we all do, then we've got backup characters.
Yeah, it's great. You'll all play one of the rat.
I'll be at the back,
running away.
It's going to be Doril, and then everyone else is going to play one of the rats.
Okay. Love it. Alrighty.
Rat game.
Cheers, everybody.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.